Dude, I can't even wait. I can't
It's
even
about
wait.
to happen right now. Damn, so different. Oh my goodness.
Holy shit, this place is blowing up.
Hey, it's the cool weed nerd.
And it's Jill.
Get your bowls,
And your mom.
pipes, the
And
vaporizers.
big fat blunt.
It's time to get high with me. I'm a weed nerd. Call me smoke a lot. Don't give me up, you know I'm not rock. Now we must you got weed nerd. Nothing but the highway. So won't you come my way? So won't you come my way? Weed nerd. Call me smoke a lot. Don't give me up, you know I'm not rock. Now we must you got weed nerd. Nothing but the highway. Smoke a lot of herb, smoke a lot of herb.
Come on, weed nerds, let's all get down to that old school sound with that K-Loop pound. Put seeds in the ground, tilling up the dirt. Shovel in my hand and I'm putting in work. Weed nerd, counting sword, blowing the killer. In the backyard with the mountain gorilla. Game spiller, fill another, what you think? Miss Jill's got tips on blowing the thing. Cheese plate, Aldo, Indo funky. Time wreck, hash laced in my blunt seed. Skunky, smelly, space bomb sticky. Stepped in the dough, got the whole team with me. Iggy Pops, my city's hot. Ukiah, California, got the green on lock. Chillin' in my weed drop, blowing some herb. Don't boy only, yeah, I'm a weed nerd. I'm a weed nerd.
Well, that's right, everybody. Welcome to tonight's show. We've got a pretty exciting one for you. Hope everybody is got their bowls and their bongs and their hookahs and all that stuff. As you know, we always start the show getting high. Everybody's got their dab rigs and everything. We'll be introducing the panel in just a second. You know what time it is.
Listen to the lyrics, though, I'ma let you know.
I've been a weed nerd since the first episode.
It's a growing game, rooted in the valley. A farmer like John on the corner with Cali. 13% as I enter the spot. Eyes red with the legends and I give them their props. Top notch connoisseur weed, TGA. Light up the Mickey Kush and have a 10 day. Who paid the way? Well, let me lace those. Cats who ain't knowing about Sub and Danny Danko. Danny yesterday, Mark Emery. I'm a weed nerd, so remember these words that I serve. It's the herb I promote. I don't take any pills and I never touch coke. Take notes, sub cool 420. After the hook, you gon' get a little more.
I'm a weed nerd. Just call me smoke a lot. Don't give me up, you know I'm not rock. Now we must you got weed nerd.
All right. Well, welcome to the show tonight. We've got a pretty interesting show tonight. So first off, I'm going to get it started. Tonight, we paid off the charity this morning for baby Ethan. We actually hit the $2,500 mark we set on Monday. So it's awesome. And so tonight, we're going to be raising money for autism awareness. And the highest donation tonight will win a special hat that Miss Jill's got up. It's a Weed Nerd hat with 2 autism pins and a custom TGA pin. So largest donation tonight. I know Malik's probably going to pop that picture up in a second. We'll be winning that hat. So just a little added incentive. And we got a couple of prizes tonight as we go along. As you know, we will not be doing music because we want to get this recorded. We're going to be laying down some good information. In the past, always played music over everybody, and we've lost some good information. So we won't do that anymore. Tonight, we're just going to have the show, get you guys some information, and then once we do the chill down part, I'll actually bring it back up and we'll do the DJ thing tonight. So there's that hat. As you can see, it's got the I love autism, I love someone with autism pin. It's got the really cool pot leaf autism. You can't get those anymore. And a custom TGA pin. So make sure that you donate tonight. Autism awareness. So I want to thank you guys always for the charity. It's something really cool. So shout out Mendo Dope concert April 28th. They're also doing a charity for autism awareness. All proceeds will go to autism awareness. It's at the Chansey Pub in Willits. So make sure you go check that out if you can. It's going to be a really good time. Brief bio.
Shawnee Pub.
That's it. Y'all ready, huh?
Oh yeah, it's on, man.
Always.
We're stoked. Gonna put on a good show for everybody.
No, I'll be there.
Cool.
Hell yeah,
Hell yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it's really cool that you guys have picked that up and did that. It's a really good charity. So if you guys don't know, I met Mendo Dope, I don't know, almost 6 years ago. And they were created by brothers Oldie and Bleezy. They specialize in cannabis culture music. They were born and raised in Mendocino County, the heart of Emerald Triangle. They're ganja farmers and musicians. The Mendo Dope boys help teach the world about cultivation and educate people about cannabis. Used it 10 years ago and have built a strong following across the globe. I like to say they're what's right about the cannabis culture and cannabis music. So we're always down to help out with thorough giveaways. So let's kick an endangered artist CD. However you want to do it, giveaway, we're down with this. Send a winner's Addy and we can ship it. So Mendo Dope is always down to help out with the charities, and we really do appreciate it. You can find Mendo Dope Family Farms Cannabis Products at Organican and Alpine Alternative, and I'll let you know that I definitely am a customer. I've like 6 grams of psychoactive rosin and psychoactive.
Hell yeah.
All right, well, so I want to greet my panel tonight. Thank you, everybody, hanging out. So we're going to start off with our executive producer, Dung Beetle. Thanks, working tirelessly behind the scenes to put this show on. As you guys know, I was like fucking off getting the ink while these guys have been working all day putting on the show. So I appreciate it. How you doing tonight, brother?
Doing good, Sub. I love that new ink you got, man. That shit's sick. So we're just kind of busting our asses to make sure that we provide good entertainment for the weed nerds. You know, we're trying to make sure these guys see some good quality stuff every Saturday when we come on. You know, during the week, it's more just chilling and hanging out like Sub always says. But Saturday night, you know, we kind of want to do a real show for at least the first few hours, get that, you know, set in stone so you guys can watch it every week during the week and whatnot. And then, you know, have the Weed Nerd Lounge afterwards. So just going to kind of move forward that way, and we hope y'all like it. So what up, Weed Nerds?
Thank you so much, Dung. I do appreciate it. I've said this a couple times. Yeah, thanks, Loki. And we had another donation a second ago. Chris Tesmer, thank you guys very much. And just so the panel knows, the Weed Nerds sit here tirelessly watching me yell, scream, play music, and constantly make donations. That's probably Loki's 15th donation to the charities. So very impressed. Second, we have Grow Mouse. I think he may have stepped away. He is our resident lighting specialist. Are you in the house, Grow Mouse?
I am. I just set my head on this table because it's so fucking heavy, Sub. I love you, but I'm only wearing that thing one night a week.
That's okay, brother. It is quite okay. When we were doing the marathon one, no, me too. One night when you're doing the marathon, I was like, how the fuck does he wear that hat for so long? That's just too much. I can see you, Matt. You're good to go. So next we have Malik, is our media director. How are you doing tonight?
Doing very well, Sub. Shout out definitely to Dung Beetle and Minnesota Nice and all the moderators for working hard on tonight's show. And Mendo Dope's here. I'm super excited. You should see their last post on Instagram. That cover crap's sick. But yeah, right. Definitely for tonight. We got Lush Lighting and good show, guys. I'm happy. So cheers.
If you guys didn't know it, Malik is the fucking super moderator. We're going to have to get him a trophy or a prize or something. He mods on like 4 or 5 streams. He goes over and does GoTube Roundtable. I think he helps out on Fada Mike's show. I don't know if he's on Mean Gene's show or not. So tirelessly working behind the scenes. We appreciate it. Next, but not least, we got Mendo Dope in the motherfucking house. How you guys doing tonight?
We are doing great. Happy to be back on the Weed Nerd with everyone. An amazing panel like always. Trimming up some fire personal loco and just happy to be on here chopping it up. What's up to all the Weed Nerds out there?
Hello, everyone.
What up, Mendo Dope?
Hey, dude, I've been listening. I put the new album on this morning, guys, and listened to it maybe 3 times through. It's definitely your best album. One thing about your songs, I'm going to get really deep here. One thing about your songs that throws an old timer like myself, a lot of your songs start off with like maybe a little story or maybe a little strange beat or maybe, and it doesn't always tell you what the song is going to be. But like when I actually put the CD on and just let it flow, not looking around, I mean, I was surprised where some of the songs go. I mean, it starts off with like somebody saying something and then maybe a beat, and then a couple of minutes later you got a full-on band just crushing it. So
yeah,
very, very impressive.
Thank you, Seb.
Yeah, I like doing that when I'm doing different production. I'll start it off and then it slowly will change throughout, and then by the end of the song you're like, holy crap.
Yeah, no, I definitely the best, and I don't. The way the sound that you guys got out of that, it is hard to believe you recorded that shit outside in a fucking pot garden with cars and shit going by, because it's mad loud. I love that.
Yeah, it came out it came out crazy, and to have the, it's all with the DVD is included with the album, so everyone's gonna get to see exactly how we did it all outside. You'll be there with us creating.
Man, that's just fucking awesome. So check out Mendo Dope's Live in the Garden Part 2, available on 420, correct?
Yep. It's actually available right now. If you pre-order it, we'll just get it shipped out. We got them in early. We're just gonna start shipping them out as soon as people put orders in.
And we're autographing all the pre-orders also.
It's that
Man, you
early
guys are
drop. Nice. Good job, guys.
Early.
Yep. Well, the DVD was
Next
late,
one-
and we felt pretty bad about that.
Yeah. Well, I know you guys hustle for your fans, so I know they appreciate it.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Minnesota Nice, our resident soil guru. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Oh, we're doing great over here. It's a pleasure to be here with everyone tonight. Just want to thank everybody, especially the weed nerds, for tuning in. Pleasure to be here tonight with Mendo Dope and Mr. Bond. You'll get to him in a minute. I know we have Matt from Lush Lighting with us as well, and it's a pleasure to meet you guys tonight and be with you. Thank you. And we're doing good out here. We're just playing with soil right now. We're getting our outdoor ready, actually. The frost has lifted, and it's time to start bringing the soil back to life and getting our micro life going and getting ready for the season.
Sub, I got to tell you something really quick about Minnesota. This is going to make you laugh. So he has a 5-year-old son who is coming in today during our Hangouts thing, brother, and he's bringing Minnesota a jar of worms. He's out in the backyard. Minnesota says, I got 12 fucking smart pots to fill. I need like 100 worms, bro. Yeah, this kid's coming back in worm after worm after worm. I mean, he just loves playing in the backyard. He's such a cute kid, man. He's adorable, bro. It is hilarious. He's like, Dad, I got worms and I got dirt. Minnesota's like, shit, I'll just top dress with it.
That's awesome. Dude.
It was funny.
Farmer in the making.
He loves it. Hey, last year he grew his own cherry tomato plant, and no shit, it was 14 feet tall.
That's fucking really holy shit. Yeah, ganja farmer definitely in the making. Next up on the panel, we have very happy to have Matt with Lush Lighting. He's going to be talking about LEDs tonight. How are you doing, buddy? It's been a while since we've seen each other.
It has been, Sub. It's glad to really be here, be with you guys, and get high with the weed nerds. I've started vaping off of this PAX 3, and it's really good equipment. And we're going to talk about some lights. And yeah, it's a Saturday evening, and growers' work never seems to end. We go nonstop. Whether we're working with the plants or working to help your buddy with his plants or to educate the world, to make killer genetics, make great lights, deal with customer service. It's a full-time job, and just want to say I'm glad to be here, and thanks, and hope to share some good information with you guys.
Awesome. Well, again, thanks very much. This is, if you're not aware of this kind of thing going on, we discovered this about a month ago. Of course, Crazy Dago's show, the Grow Through Roundtables, what first one I appeared on, and this has become kind of a form of entertainment for us now. We don't watch TV anymore, and if I'm listening to music, I'm usually doing it with my friends. So, welcome to the Stream Nerd situation. Next up, we've got Mr. Bond, a resident hash expert. Check out our panel. We have all these fucking different experts in different fields. How are you doing tonight, Mr. Bond?
Doing fantastic, Sub. Just want to shout out everybody, Weed Nerds, Mendo, Minnesota, everybody that's on the panel. Appreciate you having me here.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Let's get it going.
Last but not least, we've got Sid Avery, also Power Mod. So how you doing tonight, big guy?
I'm doing pretty good. Even better now that the rain is gone. I can see clearly now that the rain is gone. And it feels all good. It's nice. I'm pumped to be able to get out and start working.
I can't wait. You YouTubers may recognize Sid Avery as being passed out on my couch, being passed out on my kitchen table, being passed out on this futon for about 20 fucking hours straight after I ate 1,000 milligram brownie. So, he's a good sport about it, though.
Yeah,
all right. So, what you got, buddy? So first off, we're going to get into a little bit of news. By the way, panel, feel free to talk freely. as well as you weed nerds. 411 people in the chat tonight. Thank you guys very much. Smash that thumbs up button. Thanks everybody for the contributions. So pretty excited last night. I'm sitting there and Oldie and Bleezy sent me an email, and it damned if they're not on the cover of Weed World magazine. So it's pretty cool. They've got the locomotive. Yeah, right? Fuck on the cover, man. I was like, oh.
So savage.
It's savage. And the article looks really good. Looks like Sam did a killer job featuring the locomotion by Heroes of the Farm. And we were talking about it the other day. Mad props to Heroes of the Farm. Shout out all over the page. So, yep, there it is. I think Heroes of the Farm's pretty excited about that. And you guys look fantastic. The way she did the article, everything's just really cool. So,
yeah, it came out really nice.
Yeah,
that's the first magazine cover.
Oh yeah, guaranteed first one ever.
It's fucking big. We can't thank Weed World enough. You know, it's very cool to be working with them for a while now, and for them to show us love and put us on the cover means a lot. And it's perfect timing. Album's dropping, 420, cover crops going crazy, seeds are going crazy. So we're very happy right now.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's just really cool. Like you saw, I put that post up the other day. I saw how young you guys were in the forest that first time. I mean, you can actually see how young you guys are, and just really proud to see how far you guys have come. And you notice I put to dig on Ohio Times. I'm gonna get y'all on the damn main stage eventually.
We see it. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you guys very much. So also this week, pretty exciting. So Mendo Dope got to go into the breeding room with me and actually make Mendo Dope. And while they're at it, they also made Black Cherry Soda Time Quirkle, and they also made Crazy Train, which is kind of fitting. So,
yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Look, the main thing, what did you guys think about the way pollen tasted? Were you ready for the fact that it actually has a flavor to it?
No, I wasn't expecting that at all.
It was very interesting. It was cool as hell.
Now, did you guys, I wanted to ask, I don't hear it, but did you guys get any hay fever allergies from it? You know, pollen tears some people the fuck up.
No, we've never had allergies or like anything like that.
I mean, I have a little bit of allergies, and I was feeling it in my nostrils a little bit. Definitely.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can feel the pollen up in my nostrils.
I never had a problem.
Herb Man used to get actually sick when he pollinated the crop. He'd be sick for 3 or 4 days from pollen.
I remember him saying that.
Prospect had to wear a Tyvek suit. The resin actually affected his skin. He'd get a rash. So kind of cool. So pretty excited this week to tell you guys. And I know you guys have started already, but one of the ones I'd like you to run down the road is the Cosmic Glue. We released it this week from Heroes of the Farm. Of course, that's the Gorilla Glue 4 time the Space Dude. And it's going up on the site right now. So it's available by James Bean, Attitude, and several of our distributors. So check that out. Lunchbox. So the Lunchbox contest continues. Basically, what we want you to do is go get a lunchbox, outfit it with some foam. The rules of the contest have to be, your lunchbox have to be self-sustaining. So if you're on a desert island, you got to be able to put your lunchbox out and get stoned. So there's Minnesota's nicest. You see he's got stickers on his Spam lunchbox. Stickers are part of the contest. And Minnesota Nice, may I ask, is that a working qualified lunchbox?
Yeah, it is. It has to be one of the traditional style lunchboxes. It can't be like one of those fancy suitcases or an already made store-bought case. You got to fabricate this yourself. It's completely DIY, and it's custom. It's you personalize it to exactly what you need to show up at the table or get lost in the woods, and you have a survival kit to stay alive with.
Yep. And I always like to point mine out. So I've got water now. So mine has bowl, water, bong, ember, hash, and a poker. So take me, and the ember's charged up. Very important to have the ember charged up. And I laughed the other night when I lost power in the house. I pulled out my lunchbox and got high. So that is the point of the lunchbox. So if you guys send me a picture of a working lunchbox, don't just go get a lunchbox and throw a pipe and a fucking bud and a lighter in there. That's not a working lunchbox. Anyway, send me a picture of working lunchbox, tgagenetics@gmail.com, and I will send you a prize. And make sure that you show up to the San Bernardino Cup with a lunchbox. That's going to be the funniest thing ever. So I also want to tell you guys about a funny thread on Instagram. It's called Zeros of the Farm. It's something Heroes of the Farm puts up. Definitely go check out the hashtag. he puts up failures from all over the world, marijuana growing world. You see floods at DNA warehouses. You see greenhouses collapse. This morning he had a truck that had soil on it, and the truck actually turned over in the middle of the highway and had wreckers and shit out there. So well, it's just a pretty cool little thread. So you got it up, Malik? For some reason I'm not seeing it. It's all good. All right, let's see. So Mendo Dope made their own cross. Pinot Dime JTR, we got a brand new tester out. I've been trying to send as many people as I can. Anybody on the panel wants to check it out, let me know. It's Pinot Dime JTR. Badger came up with the name. We call it Tinto de Verano. You guys got it spelled on the notes wrong. It's Tinto de Verano, and it means spring drink. And it basically is wine, sweet soda, and lemons. And I thought it was a really good description of the Pinot, which is a wine-based strain. Pinot's a wine name. So we're trying to stay in the wine family, so we really like that very much. Soul Kings Taco Tuesday was a blast. We had a really good time. We were able to give Jordan that donation, so it's really good, cool. And last but not least, I want to let you know that Jilly Bean will be returning in about 3 weeks. I get that an awful lot. So I want to take it right back to the panel. And we want to get started tonight with Lush. So I've known Matt for quite a while, him and his wife, super nice people back on the East Coast. And Matt sent me one of his Dominator XLs a good while ago, and I still run it to this day. I use it as supplemental light along with my high-pressure sodiums. But we want to invite him, we want to welcome him tonight. And how are you doing?
I'm doing really, really good. I'm glad to be here. I just got high with a few hundred, maybe a few thousand weed nerds. I got to say, it's an exciting feeling.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, 452 right now watching you, probably thousands before it's all over. So we want to get right into this, Matt. So we do talk about lighting a lot, LEDs a lot. You know, Grow Mouse does DIY, building some of his own and stuff with cobs and stuff. Lots of these words are a little bit foreign to me. I sit and listen to these tech talks and stuff, and some of it goes over my head. But I guess what we want to get started right off the bat is for you to tell us what diodes you're using and just kind of tell us a little bit about the design of your lights. And has anything changed in the Lush Lightings over the past few years?
You know what? A lot's changing in the process thereof. The lights we have right now, they haven't changed much. We've made minor modifications since we released them in 2012. You know, we were doing research back in 2010 when there were other companies selling products that they know didn't work. It really hurt the reputation of what an LED grow light can do. These grow lights promised for half the power, you'll double your yield, and made huge claims, and people spent a lot of money and got burned on them. We were doing research, you know, after a couple of years, we got caught on and learned things that nobody else knew yet, and it allowed us to develop a better product. So when we launched, we've had a good product that's had a really good run for the last 4 years. Anybody that's bought a Lush light still uses it to this day. They're a good quality light. It produces a very quality product, you know, so your medicine has a better taste, better aroma, increases the medicinal value. So there's a lot to say, you know, that we've been here that long. We've earned some really big endorsements along the way. People have embraced us, and we did it during a time when LEDs, you know, were getting a lot of hate, and now they've come around. There's still a few bad ones out there. You got to watch out. You know, you get what you pay for, and but there's a lot of other LED companies that are coming along. The diodes we use right now are the 3 watts. We don't get into the COBs. You know, we have our reasons, and we don't get into the 5 watts. The 3 watts are more efficient. We look at the efficacy of diodes. That's how much light we can produce versus heat from the energy consumption. And so the efficacy of the 3 watt diodes are much higher than the COBs and the 5 watts. So for the same power consumption, we get more light, produce less heat, makes our lights more efficient. It really gives our customers an advantage, and it makes the plant healthier and gives it more energy for its growing. So that's kind of why we're still using the 3 watts. People, you know, wonder why, and and they look at the new technology and think that just because it's new, it's going to be better. You know, we've been doing a lot of the research. We've been at the forefront of a lot of this. And if it was better, we would have switched, you know, and it wasn't. So that's why we're still here, and our products are still performing really well.
Awesome. I know a lot of weed nerds want to know, so how does the spectrum of Lush compare to the CRI of the sun? I mean, how does that match up?
That's a really good question, and we don't hear CRI very often. That's color rendering index. That is referring to how white something looks. The sun is very white, and what that means is it includes all colors. And when it does, then it appears invisible, and everything reflects properly. Every color that we see is actually what that object is absorbing the least. So if you see something that's green, it means it's absorbing green the least. It's absorbing the reds and the blues and all the other colors more. And same with when you see something blue, it means it's absorbing all the other colors. And that's very important because when you think of CRI, you think of a number that is used to value how clearly we will see underneath that light spectrum. So a high CRI that you would get from some of the new white diodes that you might see a 93 or 95 CRI, those are because they're RBG diodes. And with red, blue, and green, they're able to cover most of the color spectrum enough for that CRI to trigger really high like sunlight. But that's not necessarily what plants need. Plants don't use that green region. And when you take green out of the equation, your CRI will go down because things and colors don't appear the way that they're supposed to without that green. And so that's how you end up getting some of these magentas and purples and other color hues from LED grow lights. The LED grow lights that you see that are all white on the market, those are using those RBG diodes. They're a very affordable, very cheap diode because they're in street lights and they're in house lights. They're mass produced right now. The problem is that an RBG diode is 1/3 green. So you're getting 1/3 red, 1/3 blue, 1/3 green. And for a grow light, you don't want 1/3 of your spectrum to be green. So you don't really want a high CRI. The Lush lights are around 60 to 65 CRI, and that's because we don't produce the green spectrum.
Awesome. Well, really great information. Real quick, Dung, make sure that you send that link to Heroes of the Farm. Dirt is trying to get in. He just texted me.
Yeah, I know. He's I've got his stuff right now. I sent a message in the chat.
You can call him if you need to, whatever. He's new to this, so you just walk him through. And I apologize for breaking in you, Matt. So yeah, obviously you know that we sit around and talk about LEDs all the fucking time. There's entire shows. There's entire shows dedicated to this. So one of the things that we wanted to ask you is, you know, how are you keeping up with the rapid changes in the market? Because I know just enough to get me in trouble. I know there's a lot of guys watching you right now that believe in white technology. They believe in cobs and stuff like that. So what is Lush doing at this point to, no, I won't say keep up, but to make sure you guys stay in the forefront since you've been doing this so long?
The number one thing was to produce a light that worked, that performs. So many times a grower will buy a technology like a light or a nutrient, and they run it. If they're not happy with it, it doesn't stay in their garden. You know, so first and foremost, we need our product to always perform well. And the newer technology wasn't able to outperform what we have right now. We're on the cutting edge of working on technology that will change this industry forever. It's going to give the ability for growers to communicate with their plants. They'll be able to, in essence, tell the plant, hey, this is August. I want you to go into pre-flower. This is September. I want you to flower. At any point in time, you can tell your plant, this is November. Sativa, I need you to be done. I need you to be done in 5 days. And there's ways that nature communicates with plants that with light, we can give that control to the grower. And so there's that. There's also things that we can do to enhance the plant's metabolism, to enhance the plant's immunity. There's things that happen in nature, whether the plant's at a high altitude or increased UV light. Maybe the plant gets infested with bugs or infected with a mold or a fungus. So the plant comes into a lot of different circumstances in nature where it needs to defend itself. And we're going to be able to add some of these features to our grow lights that allow the grower, through the control of his iPhone or his laptop, he'd be able to tell his plants, I want you to increase your cell wall size. I want you to increase your resin production. I want you to amber out your trichomes and be done in the next couple days. So it's really cutting edge things that we can do with light that'll give the control to the grower that I think will be, that will allow for them to produce a better medicine for the patients. So it's like, that's kind of cutting edge stuff that we're working on here. It'll all be launched later this year. You know, we have a couple authors and guys, journalists that want to be the first to show it off, so to speak. It's something that we've been working on for a while, and we firmly believe it'll change this industry for the better. And it's all going to come through LED. LED is the future. It's just getting it to perform right. You know, with this power of being able to create every color spectrum imaginable, it's now the responsibility to find that perfect color spectrum for fueling photosynthesis of the cannabis plant. We've learned that not all plants perform photosynthesis the same. You know, you could be growing tomatoes or cucumbers, and the way that that plant performs photosynthesis and the light that that plant needs is not the same as the cannabis plant or the hemp plant. And so for that reason, we need to be able to fuel and do our research on this plant so that we are able to enhance its metabolism, its growth rates, its ability to produce a medicinal property. And that's cutting edge, and that's where LEDs really give the advantage to the grower. And we're in the process of creating and taking that technology to that level. There's a lot going on. We're also looking at the ability to increase or target specific cannabinoids. If you want to increase THCV, if you want to increase CBG, certain cannabinoids through carotenoids, these cannabinoids are able to be produced, and carotenoids absorb light for energy. So when we increase a particular light spectrum for the plant, it can increase its production of certain cannabinoids. So right now, you know, everybody's really big into THC and CBD, but as the market expands and grows, I think we're going to see a more of an interest in some of these other cannabinoids. And through light and with the ability that LEDs give us, we're going to be able to target those cannabinoids and the growth of them to be able to increase. And then when you're extracting those and targeting those cannabinoids, the higher production you're able to get from the flower, then it increases in the extract as well.
I never thought about spectrums affecting the different cannabinoid production. That's pretty cutting edge. I want to, if it's okay for me, I want to take some questions from the chat. One of my mods will grab those real quick, if you would. So if anybody's got questions for Matt of Lush Lighting, go ahead and post them up, and the mods will grab them so we can go over that. I wanted to kick it real quick over to Mr. Bond. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm good, thank you.
I wanted to talk a little bit about my favorite thing. By the way, did you see my hash fetish shot this morning? It's like 120 something hash files in my little a federal marijuana can. I think I have a problem, just so you know. So,
oh yeah.
Could you offer some pointers to new hash makers that are, and when I say hash, I'm talking about extracts, resin, BHO, sauce, crystals. I mean, pretty much most extract artists kind of dabble a little bit in all of us. Can you Can you tell us a little bit about, you know, what you would say to the new extract artist getting into the business to maybe stop him from making some easy mistakes?
Well, I guess number one is grow your own, so you can, if you don't make out so well, at least it's all on you. It's not anybody else's material. That would be number one. And then, yeah, you need fire starting material. If you don't have that, you're not going to get anything out of it. So I've seen it a million times. That's number one rule. Gold in, gold out.
Is there a huge difference between indoor and outdoor? I'm going to preface this by saying if the outdoor is grown properly and harvested properly, is there a big difference between indoor and outdoor?
I haven't washed too much outdoor, but the outdoor that I did get to wash, obviously, they're on the panel right now. The grease monkey that Mendo grew last year was just as good, if not better, than a lot of indoor stuff that I've washed and seen. And so I can't say it's better. I can't say that it's not. It all depends really. For the grower, the strain, mainly the strain. But
mainly the strain. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't, like I said, that everybody thinks that they have something nice, and it really. Even sometimes I second guess myself, and you're like, oh yeah, that's gonna be good, and then you wash it, and you're like, what the fuck happened?
Well, a really good example of that, Mr. Bond, is recently Skunkworks ran something for me, and he called it tacky hash that sticks to the back. So he ran just a little bit of it, and that was the blood wreck, and fucking terrible return on actually washing bubbles. So smart enough extract artist, he stopped and he actually blasted the rest, and of course the return on the blast was insane. So do you experience that? There's strains that maybe look like they have a lot of resin on them, but when you wash them, it doesn't.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've done it so many times. I mean, the locomotion outdoor, it looks fire. I asked the guys, I kicked myself in the ass because I said it 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 times. I don't know if I want to do this. And it was like, well, let's just try it, see what, and what came out is definitely tasty and fire, but the return, when you think of it in that aspect, you just, it don't work. So.
Yeah, we wanted to enter the loco, in the cup. And Bond's like, I don't know. It looks like this grease monkey over here is going to be the one. The crystals are like that prime crystal. And when we washed them, you could see it's totally different.
Wow. So the reason I asked them.
Go ahead,
buddy. Sorry.
Nope.
The reason I asked you about indoor versus outdoor, the one good thing about being the weed nerd is I actually talk to all the hash makers. So like I know some hash makers don't talk to each other, even though they have respect. There's this whole, but like I literally know all of them. I can talk to Frenchie, Matt Rice, Mr. Bond, Diesel. That's kind of cool that I get that. But Frenchie told me that he likes to make hash from outdoor because he gets more of the 150 trikes. The sun makes larger trikes. And Karen, the lady that makes my medibles, she said that actually not fan leaves, but the bigger sun leaves on a plant outdoors, they get the largest trichomes. So some of those 160, 170s. And that's why I was asking you said you haven't watched a ton of outdoor, but that's something we really want to look for, is that outdoor obviously gets larger because of the UV and the sunshine.
I would think so. I mean, what we got out of the 160 from the grease monkey was just as good and just as tasty as the 120. You know what I mean? There wasn't as much of it, like Frenchie was saying. You know what I mean? But I guess that's obviously with strain also. You know what I mean? It really phenotypes, because you could have one phenotype that's got larger heads and then the same strain, different phenotype, you know, you get more of the 73, more 45. It's a funky game.
Hey, everybody. I can't imagine that. When I got a story to tell you real quick. Hey, everybody, the question link is in the chat. If you want to jump on that, post your questions for Matt or anyone else in the channel, and that way your question will not get missed. It's very important. So I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite type of extract? I mean, do you like shatter, frozen, rosin? What's your favorite personal?
I don't smoke BHO at all. It's personal reasons, shit like that. I won't get into all of it. Some guys, you know, look at me cross-eyed when they try and give me a dab of something, and I'm all set. So yeah, definitely bubble. The 120, 73. I like the rosin, the hash rosin, you know, even flower rosin. Anything that's pretty much done, you know, without a solvent, I'm good with it.
Well, you bring up a good point, and I'm glad you took me there, because so I don't. Okay, back up. So I made BHO a long time ago with an O'Neill stainless steel tube and a bowl, non-purged, fucking total poison and shit. And then we went to Pig's house, and Pig's had like a little small vacuum pump container. So that was like the first we did a little purge. And then as time went on, I found out about, you know, commercial butane and N-butane and medical butane and I'm like you, I don't smoke butane. I mean, BHO, I don't smoke shatter, but I look at pictures of it and it sure looks party. And so every once in a while, somebody will, thank you, Shep. Every once in a while, somebody will give me some really, really clean shatter. And I have actually taken a couple of dabs recently of some really clean. And my question to you is kind of simple. I know you don't know why you don't use it, and I support that all the time. But it seems like to me now a very small portion of the industry, maybe 1 or 2% of the people that do this for a living, are producing BHO products that are 0.000001, you know, parts per million of anything bad in there. So it sounds like that a few people have actually gotten this product clean. And I just wanted to know your thoughts on that statement. I mean, do you still think it's contaminated, or do you think you can get it really clean?
Well, I'll just say this about it. I watched a buddy. He went to Colorado, went through the training, the whole spiel, and you know, he was one of the first ones to buy like a really nice closed loop system, and you know, he knew how to clean the butane, whatever, how they recover it, and they clean it through the system before they use it. Well, when he did this, when he recovered all the butane and whatever back into the chamber, and he wiped down the inside of the cylinder that the butane was in, and I saw the paper towel, he's like, and he says, like, this is the mystery oil, or you know, the bad stuff. This is why I'm cleaning it. So then he did it again, and it was still dirty. So I don't care how many times you clean it. You know, Bubble Man says it the best. Water sustains life. Butane and those solvents, and you know, I get that there's solvents in terpenes. Terpenes are solvents. So I get all that, but the butane and all that stuff, it'll kill life on contact. So I'll stick with the water. That's just how I think. You know what I mean? I can't see. You know, if it works for you medicinally, and that's what it is, then go right ahead. I'm 100% behind you. But for me, I just prefer not to. I just quit cigarettes. You know, well, I'm just only getting older, so I'm trying to, you know, make my body the way that I want to live. So I just rather not put that in my. Whether people say it's clean or not, it could be. It can't really say yes or yay or nay. I rather not. So.
Very in depth. No, that's what I figured you would say. I just wanted to hear it from somebody that sees a lot of ash. last but not least, I wanted to ask you, how are the
Yeah,
how are
I
the
mean,
changing?
they just snuck one in on us. If I believe now, because we actually had to sign up and get tags through the, through the system in Rhode Island. It's crazy. So we spent $300 for 24 tags, 12 veg, 12 flower. And now I guess if they come in and you let them in and you have just cut down a plant and wet, if it weighs wet over 12 ounces, I'm over my limit. So
shit.
I mean, what size plant is that? Am I going to grow a solo cup or what? Yeah, it's really like they're just closing loopholes. They just keep closing them and tightening them and making it work for them. And I get it. You know what I mean? Everybody's trying to keep big business out of it. And I've said it, 6 years ago. They've been in it. They're in it. They've been working, working the system on us and playing it back on us. Saying no, we say, it absolutely 100 million% does. And I firmly believe that. But now they turn around and say, oh, well, you want it to be a medicine? Okay, well, now you go in, which it should be. We all know the way the pharmaceutical companies work. You know what I mean? So it's too late in a way. Sad to say, we can keep fighting and do our own thing. And I will, but once they get their grips on it, and they've had it for years now, so it's a messed up battle. Like, you watch the show Moonshiners, that's what it's going to become. I believe anyway. Some people may disagree, but
yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. And just, hang on there. Things are changing fast. And in fact, I'm going to a meeting Wednesday in my county, so things changing. And I currently believe if we continue pushing on the door's going to open here soon, because just like in my county, there's 50,000 small medical growers, and there's no fucking way they can police them. So we will win this damn thing. I wanted to tell you guys that Mendo Dope is having the Live in the Garden album release party Saturday, April 15th. Minnesota Nice will be in attendance along with me. We'll fucking have a fucking blow it out. I wanted to kick it to the boys. So other than the album, so what's going on with you guys in the outdoor crop? Are you in the greenhouse now? Are you actually outside? Are you worried about the temperatures at night? Kind of tell them what's going on the progress of the garden right now.
Right now, the plants are looking good. These storms are for sure pretty cold, but they're looking good. They're pretty warm. We're keeping the light on until about midnight now, so it's only on for a couple hours.
Yeah, not been too worried about the coldness outside. They're looking really sturdy and strong, and they're just constantly growing.
They're filling up the 5-gallon pots, and we have 3 big clones that we've been vegging for a while that we're going to throw outside and see what they do. We just got our 2 special locomotions in 45-gallon pots. So they're going to start rooting those up for the next 2 months. Then we have an MC1 that's in a 30-gallon pot right now, and it's huge. So we're going to try to keep those happy. We've had them since like January, since the clones were cut.
Trying to do the biggest clones that we've ever done outside.
How's that mysterious space bomb?
Oh, the mysterious space bomb. Space bomb is it's in a 1-gallon pot now. It's doing really good. Actually, a 2-gallon pot. It's doing nice. It's doing its thing, almost ready to be topped and put in the greenhouse.
It's looking very happy.
And we actually got our grease monkey and everything also. So we have a grease monkey and a space bomb to put in the greenhouse. We're going to do those clones out and back too.
That space bomb has been on a journey since day one, eh?
Yeah, right. I think I'm doing a peanut.
That is the craziest story.
I'm going to do a peanut clone for you guys. Sure.
Yeah.
Because I just want to see what it does. Yeah, I'm pumped about that one for sure.
Yeah.
So, cool.
Hell yeah.
And so I'm gonna put mine on the deck tomorrow. It's not that cold. Plus, I think some people baby the plants a little bit too much, so I'm not going to do that. So. All right. I want to kick it back to the mods. Did you guys pick up any questions for Matt on the chat grabber? Did we have some questions for Lush Lighting? Two mods. Hello, mods. Speaking to me.
I got a question for you, Matt.
Yep.
So we're talking about resin production here with Mr. Bond. What do you think the impact of like HID lighting versus LED lighting, or in an indoor scenario? What do you think the impact there? What do you think that is on resin?
That's a good question. I was just talking to Kyle Cushman about that last week. Anybody that has put a metal halide into their high pressure sodium room, usually like 25%, 1 out of every 4, have seen an increase in resin production. The reason for that is carotenoids are what produces the flavor and aroma, also the nutritional value of the vegetables and the fruits that we eat, of all the plants. So those carotenoids have the largest range or the ability to absorb light of the largest range of any pigment. And so it can absorb the red light, the yellow light, the blue light, the UV light. It can absorb it all. And because carotenoids do a lot of different things, it's not just one carotenoid. One carotenoid will produce the flavor of an apple and an apple tree, but then a different carotenoid, and an orange tree is going to produce an orange and a citrus and the flavor of an orange. In cannabis, the carotenoids produce them all. It produces aromas that would come from a pine tree, aromas that would come from an orange, aromas that would come from a strawberry and a banana. And so its carotenoids vary based on the phenome of what you're growing, and the need for those carotenoids then changes because the light that they absorb varies. Now you can still, don't get me wrong, you can still grow one strain underneath these lights and it will produce a unique flavor and aroma. I'm saying that it's not the natural flavor and aroma. You put that plant underneath sunlight, in a controlled environment where you can control the humidity and the temperature, and that plant's going to produce a much richer aroma. It's going to get you a lot higher, especially as sativa. Anything that needs UV light, that needs deep blue light in order to produce those certain cannabinoids, then you're going to see a huge difference from that. So yeah, anytime you can add extra blue into your grow room, any way that you can get it, you're going to see a difference. It's going to make the medicine value go up.
It makes sense. Is Grow Mouse in the channel with the hat off? Are you there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just listening, man. Everybody's got some good info laying down tonight.
Yeah, awesome. Did you have any questions for Matt?
No, not anything in particular, but if we have time, I think my strategy in lighting is it's a little bit different strategy. So I wanted to maybe touch on a couple things if I could.
Please do. No, please do.
So obviously there's a lot of ways to skin the cat, ceramic metal halide, LEDs, 3 watts, 5 watts, white, blue, green, whatever. And obviously respect to all the different growers out there. But I think the one universal thing that we can all agree on is that as indoor growers, our lighting is the energy power plant for our plants, right? I mean, that's how we supply our plants with energy so they can utilize the nutrients, all that good stuff. And I probably run my room a little bit differently than a lot of people. A lot of people want to buy a light they can afford and hang it up and, put some bud in a jar so they can smoke. I run my indoor 120 square foot grow room like a business. I run it like a commercial op, even though it's a small op. And I have an expectation, and my expectation is 2 ounces of bud per square foot, which is conveniently 2 pounds a tray, 2 pounds per 4x4. And so, that's pretty commonplace, I think, for a lot of 1,000-watt HID growers that have a good strain and the talent to be able to pull that off. Some people you can maybe get a little more than that. But for me, that's kind of where I'm at. unfortunately, my room can't handle 4,000 watts of HPS to get that 8 pounds I need out of that room. So, you know, I started looking to LED and then further into the DIY stuff. And one of the tough things when you're analyzing grow lights is that the science, you know, for cannabis specific white papers done by universities is fairly thin. It's getting bolstered a little bit more now, but a lot of times we have to go to the field plants. We have to go to artichokes or hay or some other plant, you know, to get a legit study. And so I follow the science. I follow the science of, you know, higher plants like cannabis, C3 plants, terrestrial plants. And, you know, a lot of the science is a little fuzzy, and it kind of makes its way into our industry and gets perpetuated by an article or a blog or just common knowledge. And so, you know, one of the strategies that I do use the white light. Now, with that said, you know, there's a lot of studies we can look at. We can look back to the 50s, you know, in Russia, where they're doing the first chlorophyll absorption. And I want to be very clear and tell people the difference between absorption and action. And so I don't know if I'm up on the screen share or not, but the early studies that were done with chlorophyll were in vitro. They pulled chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B. They pulled the carotenoids that Matt was talking about, other accessory pigments out, put them in a petri dish, put them in ether or alcohol. And the picture that they got was that our plants don't absorb green light, which is true. The pigments don't absorb green light in a petri dish, in ether or alcohol. Later on in the 70s, when KJ McCree came around and did the first existing and still widely revered study on action, we figured out that in a biological system with all the cylinders working together in an entourage effect, in a synergistic way, we realized that even though our pigments don't individually absorb green light in a petri dish, when you put the whole system together, they can use the whole part of the spectrum. And so in 1972, this is what KJ McCree came up with. And we learned that, in fact, green light, blue light, the entire electromagnetic spectrum creates action, and that action is photosynthesis. So that's why you've seen an evolution towards the white light. And you've seen people moving away from RGB cobs or chip on boards into a blue phosphor conversion chip on board. And what that means is that without a shadow of a doubt, the 450 nanometer blue LED is the most efficient LED in the world. Hands down, it's completely undisputed, but it's blue. And you can't grow plants under a shitload of just blue. So you lay this lens coating, which is called a phosphor coating. And that lens basically converts this blue light that's created in a very electrically efficient manner into a full spectrum, which is what looks like white. Now, with that said, there are some drawbacks to white in the various Kelvin ranges and not being deep enough into the red, because it is indisputable that red light drives photosynthesis the fastest. I mean, that's just the science of the matter. So, like I said, a lot of ways to skin a cat. My method is I'm looking for the most cutting edge technology. And with all the research I've done, all the spec sheets I've looked through, right now, the most efficient way to provide your plants in your garden with the highest amount of photons per watt is with the white light and supplementing to dial your spectrum in. And that's half the picture. Photon quantity, efficacy, efficiency is the first part of the picture. And obviously, you have to provide that in a spectrum that makes sense for the plant you're growing, in our case, cannabis. So, you know, with that said, I think it's just a difference in philosophy between Matt and I, but I didn't want to jump in on him. You know, it's kind of rude, but you know, our plants absolutely do use green light. It's maybe not absorbed by the pigments in vitro, but it causes action. That action's photosynthesis, and those carotenoids you're talking about, that all those accessory pigments are throughout this range, and those accessory pigments are very important in assisting chlorophyll with photosynthesis. So, like I said, a lot of ways to skin the cat, but my way is a little bit different. So Chat's like, why are you being so quiet? So I just want to jump in there with my personal philosophy on the way I choose to light my garden.
No, that's cool. And I got to tell you, and even from the standpoint of somebody that actually understands all this, it's hard for me to quantify. I mean, you know, we're talking about ceramic metal halides now. Of course, I've got one of those in the room now. LEDs, several different types of different diodes, different technology, from the outside, it's not always easy for the grower to figure it out. And me and Mouse, man, have a joke. We want several brands LEDs, a CMH, and a damn HID double-ended on a sun circle spinning around the room, and then we won't have to argue what's best anymore. We'll just have all the damn spectrums covered. That's more
I
of a
think
joke
whether
than
you're
anything.
shopping for an HID system or an LED system, my criteria that I look for is what is the most efficient light source that I can afford in terms of how many photons of light energy that grow plants can I provide per watt, efficiency, efficacy, to spectrum. Does the spectrum look good to me based on the science that I'm familiar with? If it's an LED, thermal management is extremely important, and it's not something that's talked about a lot. You know, everyone's talking about spectrum and efficiency, but thermal management, super important. Heat is the enemy of LEDs. If you can get the heat away from an LED, that same LED will produce more light per watt. And finally, spread. So those 4 factors, you know, are what I would consider to be most important. Then 8, 9, 10 down the list, you get into things like CRI and the minutia of that. But those top 4, you know, like I said, efficiency, thermal management, spread is kind of the top 3. Obviously, your budget. So, I don't know if that
I want to talk about just one second, either you or Matt. So, spread is something that I'm still trying to come to grips with on anything that's not a big ass HPS hood. So, I mean, on those long rectangular different LEDs I've seen the different fix. What is the spread on, like, I don't know how to ask the question properly, but on a set of diodes, what is the spread? Is that
standard spread of a diode is about 120 degrees, right, of just the bare diode. And so that's an almost impossible question to answer with like this blanket answer, because LEDs rely heavily on secondary optics. You know, the first part of the equation is getting a technology that can deliver the photons in an efficient manner. And that creates your PPF, photosynthetic photon flux. What your plants see, what the canopy sees, is PPFD, the density. And there can be quite a departure between your PPF and your PPFD, depending on the delivery system, the geometry of the light, whether that's HID or LED, and then the secondary optics, how they're aiming that light to that grow space. So for me, that's hard stuff to calculate. For me in the DIY scene, if I got a 4-foot space, I build a big ass light. So I don't have to worry too much about the engineering of the optics and making it, you know, getting it just right. But I wish I gave you more of a silver bullet answer, but that's a whole 2-hour show on its own.
No, I thought the answer was perfect. And Matt, can you tell me about, so I got a question to ask you. So I run four HPSs and 12 by 12. And I was looking at the spread of Dominator XL. And unless I'm wrong, for that same amount of coverage, it looks like I would need 8 of those based on the spread. Am I thinking correctly there, or do the LEDs, when they're stacked against each other, provide more of a spread than I'm actually seeing?
No, the light that we have right there is designed to be more focused underneath it. It's a rectangle, and if you get about 3 feet away from it, you're able to create a square based off of the optics that we use. Most people want to increase the intensity, and so if you have a 2x2 fixture and you want to increase the intensity by growing closer to it, then your footprint shrinks down to like a 3x3. So when you have a rectangular fixture like we do, and you want to increase the intensity and put more lights closer together, well, you put 2 lights together, put 2 rectangles together, and it creates a square. So that's how you're able to even out the footprint and maintain a very high intensity of quality light for your plants. It requires pulling out 2 high-pressure sodiums and replacing them with 3 LEDs. You'll be removing about 2,100 watts of power and replacing it with about 1,800 watts of power. And it's not a huge decrease, but you're able to maintain yield and intensity and coverage for that footprint that way. The advantage is that you're able to increase the medicinal value of the product. There's something that, if I have a second, there's something that LEDs have a challenge with when it comes to increasing the yield that high pressure sodium would have. I could say a couple things that might offend people or upset them. One of them is that a high pressure sodium lamp is a plant growth regulator. It regulates the plant's ability to perform its natural functions, and it inhibits that ability. So high pressure sodium is in essence inhibiting the plant to be able to perform all of its natural functions. And as a result, the ATP the plant does produce, the adenosine triphosphate, this chemical currency, so to speak, then is used to grow larger and for cellular reproduction. In nature, out in sunlight, under a complete full spectrum, more energy would be used through carotenoids to produce cannabinoids. And so though that increase of energy requirement then consumes some of the ATP that the plant produces through photosynthesis. So under high pressure sodium, by limiting carotenoids' ability to produce certain cannabinoids, the ATP the plant produces goes to cellular reproduction and getting larger. When you get into a full spectrum LED, you're fueling all of the plant's photosynthetic pigments. And with that, you have to now fuel all of the plant's metabolic functions. And in doing so, you're not only increasing the plant's resin production, which most people say that LEDs increase the plant's resin production, but now we have to also maintain enough energy in the plant to increase with its cellular reproduction to get the size and the girth that you're used to. So unfortunately, LEDs, if you want to maintain the yield, you're not going to be able to save half of your energy, not quite yet. On all of our larger customers and our research, it's showing that with about a 20% energy reduction, you're able to maintain yield. So it requires replacing 2 high pressure sodiums with 3 of our larger lights. And that's kind of why the rectangles play in our favor.
Gotcha. And that's another really tough blanket statement to make as well, because the efficacy, micromoles per joule, plays an important factor in determining how many of this replaces that. So, when you've got an HPS at 1.25 or 1.3 micromoles per joule, to replace 1,000 with 500 watts, that would mean that LED would have to be 2.5 to 2.6 micromoles per joule, which is on the bleeding cutting edge of the most expensive, newest technology coming out in 2017. So, it's when you're comparing apples to oranges, that micromoles per joule efficacy is your conversion factor in figuring that out. And obviously it's different across all the different manufacturers, right?
Oh yeah. Not only do I believe that the high pressure sodium is a plant growth regulator, which is why you don't get your full cannabinoid profile, particularly out of sativas underneath that. That's one thing that people disagree with, or some people, but people will come to see. The other really big one is that the value people put onto PAR or PPFD, these numbers, they're based off of the McKee curve and the impression that the ratio of light absorbing pigments in all plants is the same, and it's not. So PAR, the photosynthetic active absorption and utilization of energy in a tomato, is not the same as cannabis. Cannabis can grow 30 feet tall in 1 year. Other than bamboo, there's nothing else really growing that tall, that fast. That's showing that cannabis has the ability to have a heightened metabolism over all other plants. And plants metabolize light. We metabolize the things that we eat. We metabolize, different complex carbohydrates and things like that. And in the process of breaking them down, our bodies produce ATP, chemical currency. This is energy. This is the same type of ATP plants are producing through a plant's metabolism, but plants metabolize light. So their metabolism is driven off of the light that they're receiving. So it's very important that that light is the correct light for fueling photosynthesis, which is why things like fluorescent, works. It has a good quality light, but incandescent never worked. High pressure sodium worked, metal halide worked, but quartz and halogen did not. It wasn't. It was by chance. It was because these lighting technologies produced a particular spectrum of light that the plant was able to use for photosynthesis. Now, plants absorb through chlorophyll blue and red light. So we look at a high pressure sodium lamp that's 90% yellow with very little color in it, and we have to ask ourselves, how is this light even fueling photosynthesis when it's not fueling chlorophyll? And all the textbooks describe how plants use chlorophyll for absorbing light energy. And so, I don't think plants absorb green light. I know they don't absorb green light. Other than anthrophills, they're the only ones that can. What's happening with green light is that it touches on where light begins to turn blue, and it touches on where light begins to turn yellow on those edges, because LEDs, they have a curvature to them, and the plant's actually absorbing the little bit, very little bit of the aqua and the yellow the diode's producing, not the green. So there's a lot of different ways people look at light and how to fuel plants with it. And when you're using LEDs, it's the science behind the spectrum that's really fueling photosynthesis and how healthy that plant is growing and how that plant's able to grow, what it's able to produce, what it's able to do. Its metabolism is driven off of the light. And we were lucky, to have high pressure sodium so that we were able to have indoor grows for the last 50 or so years, so pioneers like Subcool could master indoor genetics and be able to take this industry to the next level to where we are today, but it's LED that's going to take it to really to where we can replicate sunlight and nature and things that the plant are used to receiving as an indicator on when it's time to perform certain functions. And that's where LEDs are really, once the efficacy continues to get better, and once the intensity continues to get better, once all this technology is now applied, we are going to see LEDs make huge advancements this year and in years to come.
And if I can play devil's advocate, and believe me, I do plenty on this show, and I agree with you and Mouse that this is where the technology is going. I mean, Mouse is talking about 2 pounds of light. Everybody listening knows I'm old school and thinking old school terms. But when somebody says 2 per, it gets me interested. But a lot of guys, I think, come from my school, and so I'm producing 2.5 to 3 pounds per single unit bulb on a $500 appliance. That's a third of what any of the technology you guys are talking about. And so for someone like myself that's taking out 9 to 10 units in a 4K room, it's really hard for us to think about ripping all that stuff and spending 3 times as much money to go with instead of 1,000, we would go with a 600 watt. Instead of 9 amps, we'd be pulling like 5.5 amps. So from someone like me that's bulb driven, and I'm not stupid, I see what's going on, I'm going to have to see serious numbers out of an LED light. And Matt, I'll let you know, I'm building right now a brand new room. I'm certified DA now in California, which means I can run 500 square foot indoors. And I'm only running about 240 square foot right now. And I know you guys that do this for a living are fucking laughing right now. What? Subcool grows at 240 square foot? Yeah, that's why I make seeds, not flowers. But anyway, so I'm going to expand. And I'm going to expand a 5 foot by 12 foot corridor. And I'm going to use it for a couple of different things. And one of the things I'm going to use it for is to test LED lights. Because people depend on me nowadays to give them advice. And in the old days, I didn't do a lot of side-by-side testing. I just ran stuff and gave my opinion. So I've got a really cool idea to build this corridor, put a couple of doors where I can cycle in lights, whether it be ceramic metal halides, whether it be Lush Lighting, whether it be another type of LED. So I'm really excited about, these new tests. So I will be able to compare square foot production to square foot production in a room with HIDs. So I think that's going to be pretty cool to watch unfold. I want you to hang around with us for a little bit. I've got some other stuff to do. We're going to go on break in just a minute. I got to tell the panel and I got to tell the nerds watching, it is fucking me up not to play music during the breaks and during the show. It just sounds like a really weird show to me. So I hope the information we're dropping is really good. We will get to the lounge a little bit later tonight and do some rocking. I want to put on some Iron Maiden. But I actually want to talk about a couple of things that are going on. And one is we want to talk about the charity. So the highest donation tonight is Guido for $100. He says, Grow Mouse for President. All donations are going to go to Northwest Families for Autism, Jinx and Rose's charity. We already covered baby Ethan. We met that donation and I paid it. You can actually go to the website right now. If you want to pull that up for me, Malik, you can actually go to baby Ethan's site and see that we made the donation. But let me tell you, even fucking cooler. So I assumed that the person we were making the donation to would be all like, what's up with all these weed people giving us $739, some shit like that? Shit, dude, she knows exactly who the fuck I am. She instant messaged me, thanks, Sub Cool. Tell the weed nerds we appreciate it. So that's what I'm talking about. So just found a little GoFundMe page a couple of days ago. And it's okay, man. I got it real quick. I'll pop it up for you. So anyway, it was really cool to be able to just find a stranger out there in the world that could use a little help. And we gave him a little help. I just think it's fun. And thank you guys. Thank you guys for letting me take the recognition for this stuff when you guys actually do the work. So you can see right there, we hit the 2,500. They did raise the goal to $9,000, and I don't believe so. You can see right there. There's the weed nerd. This contribution is from the weed nerds. Good luck, baby Ethan. So you can see it actually in action right there. So I think that's fun. So go ahead and make a donation tonight for the Northwest Families for Autism. And the largest donation will get a special TGA hat with 2 rare autism pins and a special custom TGA pin. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a hat pin. I also want to do a shout out to Miss Jill tonight. Miss Jill hit 10,000 followers on IG. I got to tell you what makes that exceptionally cool is Jill does not, she's not a speed poster like some of us are. She's only following like, I don't know, 100 people or something like that. I follow everybody that follows me. So she's not quite the power poster, so to hit 10K is cool. Also, Stoner Magazine is right now in her grow room doing an article on female cannabis cultivators. So she's all excited. She's all nervous. She put up a post today on Instagram, and you know how Instagram is. So some guy's like, oh, I can teach you how to increase your yield. So poor Jill, she gets all butthurt. She's not used to fucking trolls on the internet. Trust me, she's banging out 2.5 pounds per light. We just pulled 3,200 a unit for her flower. So I don't think anybody else there to tell her a goddamn thing. But anyway, I've watched the post. I think it's got like 48 damn comments because, you know, she gets in there and tries to hash it up with them. On my Instagram, if you don't say something polite and you try to say something rude, you just get tossed. But anyway, congratulations to her, and congratulations to her for the article, and even more importantly, kicking out the genetics. I mean, she is right now, she's fixing to harvest about 8,000 jelly beans. She's also got that cherry lemonade coming for you guys. So just really doing a great job. Tony with Galactic Gardens, him and Bo are out there working in Michigan, out there close to Matt. And let me tell you, these guys are producing some fucking badass strains. AK-47, some locomotion, several different things. I think Malik is running a couple of them. Malik, have you germinated any of those yet? God, why'd y'all do that?
Malik, are you gonna make me? He's gonna make me do this. He's gonna make me get this. If you don't get that thing unmuted, you're getting crickets, bro.
Thank you, man. God, you moderators are just like, what are you doing?
I know mine are on the way right now, and by the time I get them in soil, maybe Malik will be back.
Okay. I wanted to add, and by the way, I wanted to ask you, Minnesota Nice, and I meant to do this a while ago. We're coming up on breaking just a little bit, but so can you tell us where we should be right now with like a no-till? So my cover crop is up. It's not quite as far along as Mendo Dope's. I've got all my amendments. I've got another tea brewing that I'm going to put on. We had about 2.5 inches rain, so I know everything's soaked out there. But I mean, is there anything we need to be doing now? And specifically, when do I cover the cover crop up with dirt or soil to start creating this lasagna you guys talk about?
With the outdoor setups, I would probably aim for a target date of 30 days before you decide to plant out. That date should already be picked. You should have it on your calendar. And 30 days before is plenty of time to go ahead and cover that cover crop up with some fresh compost. At that time, you can add amendments if you need to. I always add neem meal, kelp meal. Once in a while, we will use something like insect frass. Frass is extremely important. It has something in it called chitin, and so does or chitin, excuse me, and so does crab meal. That's another really good one, and that actually makes the plant feel like it's under attack by like insects, and it makes it naturally boost its own immune system. And we like to use that once in a while. You don't have to continuously add that, especially a source of phosphorus. Those should be left. Once the phosphorus is in the soil, it can be worked over time. So long story short there, we'll amend with neem meal, kelp meal. We'll put a little rock dust down for trace minerals. We might put some crab meal down for a source of phosphorus and calcium. And then we're going to put a little bit of barley straw down, and then another layer of cover crop, and that creates our lasagna.
Perfect. Well, that's exactly what I've done. I got everything you talked about, the neem meal, the lignite, the crab, which smells really good when you snort it. The cover crop's in. We're feeding with teas. I'm going to put the straw down and the soil, like you say, 30 days before. I'm also watching Bleezy and Old E, pretty much everything they do. I'm trying to duplicate, except my plants are unlevel and theirs are level, fuckers. So it's fun to see the new way of doing it with the cover crop and everything. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's going on. Indoors, my cover crop's coming up and it's pushing the dirt up. I have raised dirt all in my pot, so I don't know what the hell I do with that. But I guess
I'll
have
water some on your floor too. It's gonna push it out of your pots for sure.
Yeah. Thanks. You guys didn't tell me I'd have dirt on my goddamn floor. All right, that's on now. All right. So I want to get back. Galactic Garden's got testers coming out. I'll have them in my hand soon. I know they distribute them to the Weed Nerd Network. I want to urge you testers to make sure you gather proper data. If you guys will go to the website and actually look at one of our strains, how we write it up, height, harvest, smell, taste, that kind of stuff, it really helps me a lot on producing these strains. As you guys know, I don't smoke as much flowers anymore, so I'm depending on the Weed Nerd Nation to help me with these tests. So I do appreciate that. I want to shout out to Loki Lowski, probably the most prolific donator we have. I think he's probably made 15 to 20 donations, several $100. I sent him a nice gift pack and also sent him a signed book. Thank you guys. He donated to Jinx's charity, Jordan Jackson, baby Ethan, and tonight again to Jinx. So big shout out there. Also, Hustle King with the largest donation to date, Weed Nerd Charity. That's a $350 donation. So I wanted to get back real quick before we go on break and ask everybody what they're smoking. 539 people in the chat tonight. Excellent. Hit the thumbs up and let's make that chat rock and roll. I am smoking Time Wreck Frozen. How about the panel? What all you guys toking on tonight? Crickets. Come on, man. Go.
I got some Java pie.
Frost Giant over here. Sorry, I got my mic wasn't working.
Nice.
Skunkworks chili bean.
You're still smoking that. Mendo, what you smoking, buddy?
We're smoking that Locomotion still. We've been sprinkling the Grease Monkey hash up in it. The last of our Mohicans.
Nice.
I'm coming.
Sour diesel over here.
That's awesome. How about you, Matt? What you smoking on that?
I got some of that strawberry daiquiri extract. Hitting it up in the PAX 3. Perfect low temp dabs.
Oh yeah. You like that? You like the flavor of that?
I do. We've been running it for almost a year now. Everybody's happy with it. It's one of those really uplifting body buzzes. You can still function throughout the course of the day, and alert. You're awake. You're aware, and it tastes great. So it's been a staple in the garden.
Awesome. And I got to tell you, without trying to crap, Kyle's strawberry cough clone, which he was definitely nice. Look at Mr. Bond. Definitely nice. What's that, Mr. Bond?
Oh, it was some 120U purple chem.
Purple chem. So anyway, the strawberry cough clone, I'm not impressed with it, to be honest with you. We run it here. Jilly's got it in Oregon. If you just run it by itself, it's kind of a pissy plant. It seems to not grow healthy no matter what fucking nutrient regimen you use, whether you feed it light, whether you feed it heavy, it's kind of all pissed off. Having said that, as soon as we outcrossed it with the space dude to make Brineberry cough, and when we crossed it with the JTR male to make strawberry daiquiri, immediately we saw the benefits of it. So we picked up the flavor and the resin profile from the strawberry cough, but the other males actually increased the size of the trichome head so we could actually produce some extracts from it. So just another case of a mother plant that we picked up along the line, and we made some hybrids with it. And the hybrids are not just a little better than the mother, leaps and bounds. I mean, it's a completely different way of growing it. So I'm happy to hear that you're smoking on that. We're going to take a break right now. I got to say, we're not as fancy as Dago, where we're going to go out and everything. So I'm just going to cue a little Mendo Dope up. Everybody take a couple of minute break. We'll be right back to get back into the panel. And also tonight, we're going to do 30 minutes of No Question Is Done. So coming right back. I'll be back in about 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'm from the mountains. How we doing and how we living out here? Let me put it in your ear. Homegrown weed in the jar, smoke goose weed. We're playing on the field where they use cleats. It's Mendo Dope, and we rollin' too deep. Use my tongue to pick pieces of shrooms from my teeth. Home of the red tail, drinking from the tap. Back to aromatics and a $40 stack. Barbecue and steak, deer jerky for a snack. Hunting on the mountainside, searching for a catch. Weed gets maxed, got the rolling skills, survival techniques. Learn from Bear Grylls, start a fire with my knife. Cook on the open flame, cause steady where I'm at, there's nowhere quite the same. Gotta be smart, not only on the street, cause half the roads out here ain't even concrete. See, we in the mountains, every game we starters. I'm from Mendo County, home of ganja farmers. Surf roads on the ranch, on the mountain. Got guard dogs watching my plans, on the mountain. Got moonshine up in the glass, on the mountain. That girl shake it like a rattlesnake. Surf roads out on the ranch, on the mountain. Got guard dogs watching my plans, on the mountain. Got moonshine up in the glass, on the mountain. That girl shake it like a rattlesnake. The guys pretty complex. This is the way I like it. Kicking back, eating up some elk sausage. Wake up to breakfast, scrambled egg ostrich. Antelope meat, brown, shaking wild hog. Headed with the compound, go with the morning fog. Year round, fresh creek water flows. When you're living in the mountains, how the life goes. Sitting in the fern grove, walking down the grapevine, cannabis culture, growing on the main line, mud bog, kicking up dust. Low riders won't make it, just lifted up trucks. Holes in my shirt and my shorts are dirty, not even tripping. It's Mendo, the hills, you heard me. They pop pills for early, smoke weed for Marty. One love from the mountains, supplying the party. We living different in the sticks, in the boondocks, coming with the California twist. Old hoes out on the ranch, from the
Mountains.
I'm
from the mountains.
Shine up in the glass, from the mountains. That girl shake it like a rattlesnake. Out on the ranch, I'm from the mountains. Dogs watching my plants, from the mountains. Got moonshine up in the glass, from the mountains. That girl shake it like a rattlesnake.
I love it when Bleezy's on the call box up there on the side of 101. He says, I'm from the mountains. That shit's badass. By the way, everybody, I want you guys to go on Instagram right now. Throw up a picture of Mendo Dope, tag High Times Magazine. Let's get these fine young men on a stage somewhere at a Cannabis Cup event. I think it's fucking incredulous that they haven't been picked up by these guys. I'm not going to relent on this shit. They should be on the main stage in SoCal. They should be on the fucking main stage in NoCal.
Every
Those guys just have their
time.
heads up there.
Every
fucking
time. Every time they should be.
No.
Yep.
I have to watch what I say when it comes to High Times, but I fuck enough already. Danny Danko, Matt Stang, get your head out your ass and put these boys on the stage. All right, let's see what else we got. How is the psychoactive line going on, Mendo Dope? You guys in the house? Yeah, you're there. So how's the psychoactive lines going? Y'all going to continue with that?
Yeah. Oh, hold on a second.
I know. Good time. I busted you out of break.
Oh yes, we're definitely.
Sorry, sir.
Things are rocking strong with the psychoactive resin and rosin. Everyone's been loving it so far, so we're super stoked to keep it coming. And with Mr. Bond coming up on the way out here, we're about to get crazy. Gonna have some new tasty stuff getting made.
Baby Jesus OG.
Oh, I'm excited! I'm excited. I'm just upset I don't have my Pinot ready to let him run that too. So awesome. Let's see what else I got here. What else I got? I think we're fixing to go to No Questions Too Stupid.
Huh?
Everybody's favorite part of the show. I wanted to read something though. This is my mods typed this up. Y'all got to check this out. So I should have y'all should have put this on. Y'all should have put this on the start of the show, not the end of the show. But it's okay. So this is cool. So mission statement. This is the mission statement of the show. I've never read this online before. By the way, again, my mods are fucking awesome. These guys built this show, built this format, contact everybody, work with everybody. Like Dirt Diggler, we tried to get him on the phone today, on the show tonight. He's got a shitty connection where
still working.
Yeah, and still working on him. I can tell you that he's just going to fly into my house next weekend, and so we'll have him on the show live. But anyway, just want to thank you guys. So this is what they came up with. We are Weed Nerds and Subcool TJ Genetics, here to share knowledge of medical grade cannabis, take away the stigma of weed, and grow the dankest cannabis in the world. Producers, teachers, and content creators are Weed Nerds for life. Have a dank day. That shit's badass, dude. So we're going to do Soul King. That's what I'm talking about, buddy. We're going to do No Questions Too Stupid for 30 minutes. I hope my panel will hang in there. So here's the deal, panel. We're fixing to open up the channel to questions. It could be dead because not always do we have questions, but you guys get your questions in to the question link right now. So No Questions Too Stupid. Just so you know, they might answer questions about space or dogs' butts or whatever, to having some fun, but we're just trying to answer some questions. Ready, guys? Do we have some questions and for the No Questions Too Stupid part of the show?
Yeah, dude, we're ready to go. Everyone's juiced up to answer some beginner questions. The first one came in: does the moon create its own light?
See, I told you.
Is the moon?
No, the moon does not create its own light. It's a reflection of the sun.
Hey, you're good. You're good, bud.
I wanted to start it off at the polar end of what might be considered a stupid question, just to get us warmed up.
There are things that happen in the evening when the sun goes down and it's dark outside, and in the morning that the plant can sense. It's actually fueling the plant's circadian rhythm. So it's not the light from the moon that the plant's still able to absorb, but it's the light that's still curving around the planet and still able to reach the surface. So even though it looks dark to us, it's not dark to the plants yet.
Huh.
There's a lot of weird.
Pretty cool.
That
And so it sounds like from your statement then that you agree with my contention that plants need darkness to form natural hormones, to grow properly. You don't believe in 24 hours later, am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely correct. The plants do want to sleep. It's part of their circadian rhythm. The plants have adapted to nature. And so when we can replicate nature, we can, in essence, tell the plant to do certain things. What's happening is the plant's chromosome is absorbing the ATP that the plant absorbed through the course of the day, stored up. And well, the chromosome, the plant's DNA, in essence, is going to use that energy, and it's going to produce a hormone. And when that hormone gets to a certain level, then the plant triggers metamorphosis and goes into the flowering phase.
Joint ventures.
So, yeah, even even it's just important the plants can sleep. Now, if the plant doesn't absorb enough energy to store up what it needs to, say the plant's under a fluorescent light and it's far enough away from it that it only has enough energy to get through the course of the day, being on 24 hours light's not going to hurt the plant because the plant doesn't have an excess amount of energy that it's stored up. But under an intense light, as we would grow under as professional growers, we would have a much higher intensity of a light, being able to increase the plant's growth rate faster. So our plants do need to be in a natural state where they can go to sleep.
Gotcha. So I'm sorry. Let's keep moving on with the questions. I'm assuming the chat has questions now for the No Stupid Queen.
I have a question here from the dude. He wants to know where can you get hemp seed and not just weed. He wants hemp. Sproutable hemp seeds.
Well, we're going to put Malik on the case for that, but I believe Whole Foods has hemp seeds, but I don't think they're sprout. I think they're cracked. So I don't necessarily know, but we're going to super sleuth Malik on that, see if we can't find some hemp seed. I know you can buy them in Canada. I know you can buy them in Russia even, but I swear to God, I don't know if you can buy hemp in America because technically it's still fucking federally illegal, unless I'm wrong. I think it's a trap.
Hemp farms in Colorado.
Do you have hemp farms in Colorado? All right, get on it, Malik. See if you can find us some hemp seeds for purchase. That would be interesting. I want to tell Matt a story because he wasn't in the channel. I don't know if Mendo Dope's heard this story or not yet. I'm going to divert it just a little bit because I got to tell you something that gets me pissed off, and I got to be careful because I want the show to get recorded. But I have a good friend in Savannah, Georgia, and they have a child named Wesley. And Wesley has some mysterious illness that causes them to have seizure after seizure after seizure after seizure. And there's hemp seeds right there. So the answer to the question is Google the fucker. We didn't say Google it because we don't do that on the show anymore, but that is how he found it. So anyway, they fly to Colorado, Matt, to get Wesley treated with cannabinoids. He was having like 400 seizures a month. I sent him some Dairy Queen tincture, and it reduced it to about 12 seizures a month. Lisa and Jay have a little bit of money. So they said, well, hell, if some tincture that Subcool sends us in a jar is going to help him, from 400 to 12, maybe we better go out and see some cannabis doctors, people who are on the cutting edge of research. So they did. And they've got Wesley down to only a few seizures a month with a few exceptions. Every once in a while, he'll just go into a violent seizure. Now, every one of us as parents, if you can imagine what it's like to have a child on a bed having seizures for over 2 fucking hours, and you have to hold him down to keep him from injuring himself. I cannot even imagine what that's like as a parent. So they do whatever they can to take it. I mean, that's as rough as it gets. So they do what they can. They do everything they can to make his life easier. And again, so he's on cannabis therapy. That was 3 weeks ago. He had a horrible seizure on a Friday night. Everybody, this is in Savannah, Georgia, little redneck podunk. Well, it's not a little, but it's a redneck podunk town. It's fucking bass-ackward, stuck in the 70s when it comes to cannabis. Overzealous Christian nutbags down there. And so everybody knows that Wesley's using cannabis therapy. It's like they're not hiding it. They're fucking proud they're helping their kid. So as he was having a seizure, the doctor refused Wesley's seizure medication. Jay almost got hauled off to jail because he went after the fucker's throat. So I just wanted the fans to know that still goes on in America. This kid was denied seizure medication because he was on weed. I mean,
that's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah,
that's bullshit. That is so lame.
I just can't believe it. The times have to change. It's they have to recognize what this plant can do. And this is going to open the door for a lot of other plants. Of course, we want psilocybin out there, instead of some of this other antidepressant medication. You know, it's way healthier. It's 10 times as beneficial. You know, just give them some mushrooms. You know, but the cannabis, in order for it to truly become a medicine, I believe it needs to be in a very high concentration so it can go throughout the body in the bloodstream and go to every organ and communicate at a cellular level with every cell in the body. It has that ability. It can identify a healthy cell from a non-healthy cell. Different cannabinoids do certain things, but either way, we have to be able to increase them in our body to a very high level so they get into the blood and they go everywhere. So what we found is the acidic form of molecules, THCA, CBDA, these are ways to increase those levels to much higher than decarboxylated cannabinoids can be without somebody getting too high. And then you're able to get these levels such and high, so much so that they have more of a lasting effect and a more profound effect and a quicker effect. And so we do that through juicing. We do that through quick dry sift, ice hash, ways to prevent the plant from being decarboxylated. You want to prevent time, you want to prevent heat, you want to prevent light. So you want to consume it quick, you want to preferably consume it live. You know, look at the cannabinoids and how powerful they are and affecting our body after they've been removed, they've been extracted, they've been separated, they've been changed, and this molecule still has an amazing, powerful, holistic effect in our body. Consuming it before all that's happened, while this molecule, in essence, is still alive, it can go into our body and just work much more effectively at correcting problems. And when that becomes part of medicine, then they start recognizing all these other things that are holistic in nature, like psilocybin, things like algae, like phycocyanin, that is a light-absorbing protein in plants that can repair liver damage. You know, just Google the wonder molecule phycocyanin. Your computer will be prompted to go to a PDF document and read the document and show the document to a doctor and watch the expression on his face when he reads what this natural element of plants can do to our body. And it's not cannabis, but I think that combining some of these things with cannabis have an even better effect holistically. And as microdosing, it should be part of our nutrition. You know, we should be, taking these things on a regular basis. We should be constantly consuming cannabis, replacing flour and a lot of the other foods that we eat should be replaced with cannabis and hemp-based products.
The weed nerds have me eating cannabis leaves in my shakes. I wanted to talk about something real quick that I came across today, and we'll get back to the questions in 1 second. I'm not avoiding them, and I'm on a time loop here. But I'm noticing something that I don't necessarily like it, and I just wanted the panel to talk about it. So this is a product that I picked up a sample of. It's Big Sur extracts. It's Star Drops, and it is, I don't know if we can zoom in here or not. Can we get it on there? You ass. I'll read it. It's 76%, 74% THC. 6% THCA, no CBN. So this is an isolate that you can actually squeeze out and put in a bowl, a dab rig. It's actually they got a video. You can actually go to the
excellent
Big Sur Extracts website. But this is what I don't like. So I mean, we got enough problems with the industry as far as the way people view us and everything. So this is the device, and as you can see, it looks like a fucking syringe. And I do realize that this is the easiest way to apply CBD, but I don't think we're doing ourselves any favor with a device that actually looks like a damn syringe. I mean, people not in our culture are going to have a field day with this. But the other thing I wanted to talk about, so this is a product that, in my opinion, comes from someone that's not one of us. I say that quite often on the show, not one of us. I'm sitting here smoking some of the tastiest fries I've ever smoked in my life. And so I tasted this stuff, okay?
They're called aliens, sub. Anyone that's not from around here, they're called aliens.
Aliens. So aliens fucking made this shit, and it's nasty. I mean, seriously, like I cannot believe this is for sale. And I I don't know these guys, and I'm probably going to get some blowback from it, but I am shocked that this is even a product. It's in basically what looks like to me a syringe, and it's CO2 extracted stuff with 0 terps, no flavors. I don't know. I don't know my point on this.
Is that the Silver Haze flavor, Sub?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was
See,
in the
of course Mouse
giveaway.
knows about this.
Yeah, I mean, I got it in the giveaway bag at the Emerald Cup, and it was dope because it was free. But my number one complaint on it is that syringe thing is not your traditional righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So when you think you're sealing it up to put it back, you end up squirting your shit everywhere. I didn't think the flavor was atrocious. It was totally fine, but it wasn't. It didn't blow my socks off or anything like that. You know.
Yeah, I was not. Yeah. Yuck. All right, let's get back to no questions too stupid. Sorry I got out of there. One of you guys pick that back up. Let's speed through this with me on the panel. Let's go.
I got one for you, Sub Cool, that I saw. That guy wanted to know, what was the inoculant that you put on your soybeans? And could you explain that to us a little bit?
Me?
Yeah. That's.
Oh, you're asking me about a tea? Oh, shit. Well, Skunkworks in charge of that. I know it's worm castings, and I know there's some soy aminos on there. I swear to God, I am not as much no-till, guys, as you think. I'm down here kicking out invoices and taking orders, and Skunkworks and Badger down in the garden. They're like, well, we got some tea brewing with this and that. God knows I got to get Skunkworks on to answer those questions, man. They got some organic shit going down there in my garden. I don't even know. I got beans growing in a pot that I'm supposed to grow weed in. So fuck if I know what's going on down there, guys. I really don't. I know they've been feeding the cover crop every week with teas, and you would think they were growing fucking cocaine down there the way they're just looking. Every day they're going down there and checking on some shit. I'm like, there's no weed down there. Anyway,
absolutely. They're turning that cover crop into a cash crop. It's going to work for you. They're putting in the work, and it's going to do the work, and it's going to be the best year you had, I promise.
I can't wait. I actually think it'd be kind of fun to smash the lasagna down and get the straw on it and all that. So I see it going on. So I'm excited.
Yeah,
all
it's
right,
like a
I'm
grape
assuming,
stomp, only it's a mulch stomp.
I get it. I mean, I understand too. And I tell you something else I was thinking, and you guys didn't even talk about this too much, but you know, I forget what we were talking about. There's no-till people that don't necessarily grow cannabis, and I guess mustard is a favorite cover crop. I want to say mustard like fucking prevents blood. There was something about mustard that made it special. Do you know what that is?
It's probably just some form of companion planting where you use a plant that has a beneficial property, so it can repel insects, or moths don't like it, or maybe it's good to till back into the soil. Maybe it pulls up more nutrients out of the native soil. So it's just something I thought. Companion.
I'll tell you something I thought of today that. So we haven't been putting cover crop on our little small plants, but now I'm thinking I'm going to add it because all our root balls end up in the garden anyway. So if I can put nitrogen fixing cover crop in the root balls, and the root balls in their way out in the garden, and the garden soil gets tilled into more no-till, it seems beneficial to have all the plants with a little cover crop in them, even the 6-inch plants. They're going to get transplanted so fast. It's not going to. I don't think it's going to cause any problems. So that's something we're going to add on there too. Any more questions off the scroll before we start winding this up?
Yeah, hang on one second, Sub. I believe Sid has got it.
I got one for the Mendo boys. They're ready.
That's what we want. Yep.
We're good. What's up?
Do you have any nesting birds in your plants or any of your trees?
No. We've never had anything nest inside of a plant, and I don't think there's anything on our property that's getting nested in right now.
Homie had one time though. Remember? He had a bird living in his plant.
Yeah, somebody. Who was that?
Box.
Oh, yep. One of our homies had a bird nesting in his plant, but we've never had one.
What are those? What are the white spiders with the stone red eyes that get on cannabis plants? Have you noticed those, or is that just me?
Those white spiders?
Yeah, they're white spiders with red eyes. I call them pot spiders.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck they are.
Yeah, we've seen them on the plants all the time. Yeah.
I don't know what kind they are exactly though.
Yep, they're stone spiders. That's what kind they are. Fucking got red eyes.
They sure look like it.
All
All right, guys.
Someone wants to know if they could reliably choose a recessive male early in veg by density of resin glands on the fan leaves.
Yes, you can, but it's always a crapshoot. The stuff I'm teaching you guys about recessive selection of males, I get laughed at by a lot other breeders. I've actually been told that to do a selection of males from 20 seeds is pollen chunking. Pollen chunking scales up against anybody in this business. But I wouldn't recommend somebody that hasn't been growing cannabis for 30 years and doing selections to just use the criteria I use, which is the smallest plant, the little runt, the last one to show sex, and the one with the most capsule resin heads. It's a very good indication. Several times when I'm talking about this online, I'm actually talking about going into my lines and finding these males. If I were to order, say, 10 packs of DNAs, LA Confidential, and run them out and look for a male, I wouldn't have a fucking clue what to look for because I've run that strain and I don't know it. So I'm picking males from a small selection of lines that I actually know. So if you're starting out and you don't know my lines, you're going to have the same problem. I'm actually able to go into one of my lines and we just pulled a Space Queen dominant Quercle male. And we also have an Urkel dominant Quercle. So we actually can pick either one, but I'm not sure every single person can do that. I've probably grown 300 Quercle plants in my lifetime. So you start looking for things that you find. Even saying all that, when we test it, when we produce a new male, we test it and we test it and we test it. And testing means we make test strains to people, we send them out into the public, the weed nerd world, and we let you guys grow it out. And right away, you tell us whether it's good or not. So that's why testing is so important. Go ahead, the guy.
This guy wants to know if I'm going to transplant into 200-gallon smart pots outdoors, what is the best way to drop from 18 hours of light to match the actual daylight hours? Should I decrease on daily or weekly or what?
I'm gonna let Mendo Dope take that one, and I'm gonna listen to their answer.
We slowly decrease about, I'd say 15 minutes I'll say 30 minutes a week maybe once it starts getting down to this time. Maybe 15 minutes every 2 weeks from the beginning and slowly get them used to it. So then we'll take them off, the very nighttime. So the lights will come on whenever the sun goes down. They'll stay on for however many hours we want. Outside by May 10th is going to be the full moon when we'll be putting everything outside this year, I believe, seed-wise. So, you're going to start to weed it down to about 15 hours or so, I think, is what's outside will roughly be by then. It's never going to be all the way 18 or 16 until the middle of the summer. So that's about all we do.
So what'd you say, May what? May 15th? That's my target date?
May 10th is the full moon that I was just looking at on the calendar.
So May 10th, you guys are actually going in the pots outside, correct?
Yep. That's what I think that's the plan now.
Okay. Well, I'm following you guys, so we'll be busy that day.
Mm-hmm.
I have another quick question for questions. And Ian talked about this, but I'm stubborn. I want to hear it again. So we're in the 3 gallons now. I'm just transplanted. We're 10 inches on some of the clones, 6 nodes. So, I'm trying to get by with just the 3 gallons because I got a lot more shit going on than just that. But it's sounding like from what you guys said that, well, basically, it sounds like if you guys were here, you might go to the 5 gallons or maybe even bigger before you go into the pots. I just want to know your take on that.
Yeah, like we've been in the 5 gallons for almost 2 weeks now.
Yeah, coming up on our second week in the 5s.
It's like guarantee when we flip one of them over, the roots are guaranteed to the bottom. So we're going to transplant into 15-gallon pots and let them root for another couple weeks. We'll probably transplant them all tomorrow or Monday at the latest.
Yep. So, I'd say if you could have Badger transplant some of those seeds.
Bust them to 5 gallons at least and then get another 2 weeks in that so they can get a little bit more root space, a little bit more build. Then you could drop them from 5s into your outside pots still.
That's what I was thinking. So 2 weeks basically in these threes. They've been there a couple of days, and we moved them inside because of the fucking rain. I got 2 plants on the deck now that are fucking drowned and they need a lifeguard. So I'm taking care of my we'll wait 14. If you guys go on my Instagram account, you'll see this plant. We stuck it outside, and we did it on purpose. I want you to know that the plant looks like shit for a reason. We just wanted to see what would happen if we stuck a plant outdoors early. And rain, sleet, hail, winds, thunderstorms, fucking no tell. A plant looks about like what you would think it would look like. So our plants indoors are they're going a little slow. So I'll go about 2 weeks, as you said, 14 to 16 days in those threes, and then we'll transfer out. I got to mention I was able to pick up some pretty nice disposable plastic pots from Soil King for really cheap. So shout out to Soil King for giving us all the great products. All right, let's get back into the questions real quick. I'm going to finish up the questions for the guys. Any question, lay it on me.
Yep. One person was asking about how do you feel about the IR light mat missing in LEDs, like the surface temperature of the leaf will be lacking sometimes?
Yeah, I'm glad that got brought up actually, because to offer a few tips, that's probably the biggest one I could leave for all the LED growers. What we're interested in is a surface temperature of 82 to 84 degrees of the leaf. That's the maximal transpiration rate for a typical application. So in order to do that, you want your room to be in the low 80s. The LEDs do not produce the high infrared that the high pressure sodiums do. And so the high pressure sodiums will heat up everything that it touches. Use like an infrared thermometer and just shoot it around the room and take a look. Everything that light touches is 4 to 6 degrees warmer. So, when people are accustomed to running their grow room at 78 degrees based off of their growing conditions and their plants, and they say that that's optimal, a similar application in an all LED environment would be to have those plants at 82 degrees. Because the plants then are going to be transpiring a lot faster. And same with the higher temperatures too. If you want to try to bump the CO2 up and run at warmer temperatures, you're going to find the LED plants can handle that at a higher temperature typically than you would run under the high pressure sodium.
Awesome. It's a great answer. I got another application for IR real quick. I personally run in the VPD range and VPD chart, which at the higher temperatures for the higher transpiration requires me to increase my humidity, but I don't want to do that. So I just started using some IRs in some of my fixtures, and exactly what Matt is saying. It increases the leaf temperature, which doesn't make me have to bump my room up so high to like 84 or 5 or whatever, and I don't have to have my humidity so high. So it's a lot more comfortable to work in, and it's creating buds that have that HPS look. Some guys criticize LED buds for maybe being denser, but not being donkey dicks. That little bit of IR, 3-4% IR, I think that's the ticket. But without attacking the HPS guys, like 15 to 15.3% of the energy going into your 1,000-watt bulb is coming out as IR outside of the par range, and pretty big knock against the HPS. But you definitely need a little, not need, but a little bit. You could see a huge benefit. So. Sure.
Yeah, but go ahead, and we'll remember the first time I came on the lighting show, and I was so blown away by all the technology and everything. And I found out I'm down to 27 watts a square foot. You guys figured out. You made me feel like I had a 2-inch dick, but I don't have 2-inch. I don't have 2-inch buds, so I'm okay with it.
It was. Yeah, buddy.
You got some more questions for me?
If a seed produces twins, will they be the same sex? Should I veg out both or kill one over the other?
That's a really good question, and I happen to know the answer. First off, I'll tell you that I believe now that twins are caused by overfertilization. Seeds made naturally in nature are not actually created the way we created them. Bleezy and Oli was in my room the other day. When we pollinate 4 plants, we create so much fucking pollen in a room you can't breathe. I mean, literally, it gets pollen on your mustache and your eyes, on your clothes. So much pollen is hitting the plant, and there's no science behind this, but I believe we can double team. Here's what you find. If you're able to actually get 2 of them to grow and get them separated, you will really skilled grower. It's not easy to separate them when they grow, so that's one thing you should need to know about. Now, blow your fucking mind. One of them can be a male and one of them can be a female. I don't know how that works genetically speaking, but swear to God, I've seen people grow out one of the twins from Jack the Ripper, get them separated, and one was a male and one was a female. And I always wonder what would happen if you cross those two plants together. What the hell does all that mean? You got twin parallel siblings fucking each other. Who the hell knows what that would be? But kind of interesting to think about. Twins are fairly common in my genetics, and I now believe it's because of the heavy pollination we do. We also get the butt seeds. If you've ever seen a butt seed, it's two seeds that are formed together, and they look like an ass, and we call them ass seeds. I've seen DNA's collection of ass seeds. We don't sell ass seeds, but that's it. Next question.
Someone says, I was given a grow show tour of a place and someone had an LED TV pointing down playing video of the sun. How practical is this approach?
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
Wow.
Exactly.
It won't be that easy. Really.
It's exactly as practical as having one of those aquarium TVs hanging behind your sofa. You know, it's about as lifelike as that.
Yeah, it is. We get a lot of people into our store, and what we tell them is that there's two different ways that you can grow with light. One was with intensity, and one is with quality light. And there's a lot of different types of light, and as long as you give it an abundance intensity, you can, in essence, get a plant to grow. The better quality you make the light, the less intensity you in essence need. And so there's this balance between the two that you're after. And the different technologies have their different advantages. So, just because something looks like the sun doesn't mean it's necessarily producing what the sun is producing. And plants need a very specific type of light. The pigments in them are sensitive to the different voltages of light. So when most people look at light as a wavelength or a frequency, plants are looking at light as a particle of energy. And we can measure the colors of light as different electron volts, and different voltages of energy the plant absorbs are used in different metabolic functions. So the TV wouldn't be bright enough, and it wouldn't be the right intensity. It wouldn't be the right quality.
Brilliant answer, but I think you got caught hook, line, and sinker because I think this person's fucking with us. I honestly do not think this is a serious question.
It's funny.
I wanted to ask, and I asked this the other day, and I didn't listen as good as I should. So this is for Matt and/or Grow Mouse and/or both. So for a long time, I've been using green LED bulbs in my bud room to work in the dark. I actually like working in the bud room in the dark. It's I talked about it one time on the show. It's very peaceful. The hum of the fans, the hum of everything. I can sit there in the dark and meditate. But you guys are talking about green light LED and the reaction to photosynthesis and stuff. So I've always went around telling everybody they can run green lights in their bud room without any problems, without reverting or anything. And I know a couple of minutes wouldn't be a big deal, but I've actually forgotten left the fucking green light on before, and I don't see my plants reverting. So, I mean, will a small green light in the room, enough to see the one I film the Cannabis Hunter, is that enough to cause problems?
No. And honestly, you go to the Lush website, click their science section, it'll tell you all about photosystem 1, photosystem 2, and what turns plants on and off, which is their phytochrome state. So 660 nanometer light turns the plant on, wakes it up in the morning, tells it to start photosynthesizing, and far red light, 740 nanometer, tells the plant it's sleepy time. It's time to stop producing the products of photosynthesis and to start sending some starches down the phloem and moving things around the plant. So green's not anywhere close to that. If you put a 660 nanometer nightlight in, fuck yeah, you'll turn the plants on and tell them it's time to wakey.
Yeah. So that's the I'm gonna let you back. So that's the technology Heroes of the Farmers using, where he actually has all those LEDs up there with his gavitas, and he can actually simulate the morning light to wake them up and the evening light to put in the bed. Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, And that's where we're going with, LED technology is still advancing, and it will always be advancing, just like computers are. But we're going to get to a point where we can provide so much light to our canopies in such an efficient manner, pulling as small amount of juice as possible. And when we get to that point, which we're getting pretty close, it's going to be all about spectral manipulation. It's going to be all about photomorphogenic effects and just dialing in that perfect spectrum for that specific cultivar. And it's going to be different for different strains, different cultivars. So yeah, the guys that are already dialing in spectrum, that have controllers for this wavelength and that, they're already kind of ahead of the game. But I think it's going to become commonplace here very soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like I said, that's science. He's got it all on his phone. It measures his nanometers and everything. I mean, definitely freaking cutting edge. So it's fun to see people like that taking it out. So I want to real quick before we get too close. I didn't give Matt a chance to talk about anything new that you've got on the horizon with Lush Lighting. Do you have any new tech, new lights, new promotions, new offers that you want to tell us about?
You bet. I appreciate the opportunity. We're here taking the LED technology for the cannabis plant to the next level. So what that means now is being able to fully replicate what the plant needs from the natural environment. And that not only is what we can see, but also things that we cannot see. It's looking further than what's written in the textbooks. We look at chlorophyll C and chlorophyll D and its importance in photosynthesis when most people are only looking at A and B. We're looking at the complete electron transport chain, which includes the phycobillar proteins and their function and how the plant is able to produce its energy. And so when we look at the new technology that we have coming out, it's now taking it to the next level and giving you the ability to enhance UV light for the purpose of particular cannabinoid production, and giving you that UV light in pulses or in periods of time, say for 2 hours in the middle of the day. That's going to give you the biggest advantage, so that you can do that. You can also use the light in order to increase the plant's cell wall size. With that, then the plant is going to be more resistant to pests and bugs and help their natural immunity. And you can have full control over that. And there's things that happen when the plant goes to sleep that other grow lights don't do. Typically in September, there's still 14, 15 hours of sunlight, and the plants are already flowering. Plants are going under pre-flower under 16 hours light. And there's a reason for that. It's because they're getting a quality sleep. With a quality rest, then the plant's hormones are able to increase. The PFR conversion is able to increase, and then the plant's able to yield more. And if you could take a grow room and say you grow and flower under 12 hours light, and say, okay, well now you can flower under 14 hours light because the plant gets a better rest. And with that extra 2 hours over the course of 6 days, that's an entire days. That's another 12 hours of light that the plant was able to metabolize. You just increase the plant's production of energy by 1/7, which is a huge fraction. And that's just by being able to give the plant a better quality sleep. And to give the plant the function to do that is really the next level in the evolution of LED grow lighting. And there's lights out there now that do have the adjustable spectrum, don't get me wrong, but if it's not adjusting automatically through preset settings, if it's not educating the consumer on why the color is changing, if it's just changing willy-nilly because the grower can, then that's asking the grower to do research that the company was responsible for. That's like having a nutrient company not give you a nutrient recipe and just say, here's all of the plant food, you figure it out. And that's not fair. Grow light company needs to understand how the plant's metabolizing this light and get you the right light for the different functions and the different species of plants. And you have to do this research on cannabis, so it can't be done in Texas. It can't be done in areas where you can't do the research on cannabis directly. And that's where, in Michigan, we have an advantage. But then the new technology really is going to be going digital, so to speak. It's going to be giving the grower all the functions of nature that the plant would experience, but giving the grower the ability to change those attributes that would happen in nature to tell the plant, in essence, do a certain thing.
Man, I really want to thank Matt, even before we finish this, though, for coming on and laying down all this information. Really a wealth of knowledge, especially cannabinoid and photosynthesis. So I do appreciate that. I wanted to ask, I skip around a lot. Y'all just have to deal with that. I wanted to go back real quick to Mr. Bond and ask, I noticed that Rhode Island is talking about taxing homegrown medical marijuana. Are you aware of this? Did you read about the story? And how does it affect you?
No, that's news to me, actually. I'm sure I'll hear about it in the next day or so. But, yeah, that'd be crazy. I mean, they already tax us on the tags that we have to get. So,
yeah, the more I get into this, Bond, it looks like it's a pay-to-play situation now. You know, they're going to let us grow cannabis. But in a lot of places, it's a pay-to-play system. I mean, I'm lucky to get a cottage permit, but I've been looking at some of the numbers here in California, what it's going to cost to build a rec. And it's almost like they're pushing you to be bigger and bigger and bigger. But they won't let you just build a normal-sized operation and pay permit fees that would be reasonable. The fucking permit fees are so expensive that you have to just build the biggest damn greenhouses. You have to maximize production in order to keep up. So I don't know. That drives me crazy.
The main thing about that too, Sub, is a lot of these guys, you know, all right, fine, you have the money to get the permits and, you know, get some investors or whatever and get the buildings and this and that. First and foremost, zoning. And that's where they kill you, because the local PD at the meetings and stuff at the town halls, they're like, wait a minute, we have to police this, but we're not going to get any kickback. So it's like, they don't even want to deal with it. So now they're just like, screw it. You can't grow that, you know. So the main thing is zoning, first and foremost, if you're going to actually go and get any kind of permit or building, or, you know, it's crazy. You're right. They're going to make it bigger and bigger. And then they can come in and knock on your door, and if one little tiny thing is wrong, you're done. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
No, absolutely. And I don't know. It's a little bit irritating. So this is something that this is going to become more and more. So I dealt with this a little bit last week, Matt. You'll like this. Well, you won't like the stories happen. So I've got a 3-acre property. I own a $500,000 home. It's got several outbuildings here. I've got a simple 200 amp service coming to my home. Half of that service goes up to a garage. We turn the garage into a legal medical marijuana grow. Now we're moving into a tier MRSA listed garden. And I need some more power. Compton, I need more power. So I call some electricians and call some power companies. And I'm going to make the story short because I already told it. Basically, the electric company wants to know why I need so much power in that building. Well, fuck you. I want to buy power. I mean, there shouldn't be anything else, but I want to buy power. But for some reason, there's so many people growing weed here that they're actually making moral judgments on who they sell their fucking power to. I can't hear his goddamn voice. I want to reach through the phone and choke him the fuck out. So check this one out. Marijuana workers struggle to secure loans. So in Oregon right now, cannabis is big business. It's real business. People have jobs in it. It's no longer Cheech and Chong with the bomb. Everybody's involved. Bankers, lawyers, it's business. So Melissa Johnson needed to buy a new car last summer. So she bought a used Kia from her dealership in Bend, Oregon. She drove away with an affordable payment and relatively low interest rate on her auto loan because she has a good job. But a week later, she received a phone call, you need to come in the dealership. Turns out, Johnson said in March, financing was denied because her income comes from a job in a customer service at Boonwell, a retail marijuana shop on Division Street in Bend. The staff of the dealership, which declined to comment for the story, tried to find a solution for Johnson. And I'm not going to read the rest of the story, but the point of me telling you this story is, so we not only have to fight the cops and the bureaucrats, but we also have to fight the same old goddamn thing of stereotyping. Mine's my favorite stereotyping because, I mean, when I walk around in public, I'm a tattooed up freak. I don't really dress that nice. I don't wear a fancy watch. I don't wear fancy jewelry. And people are always making judgments on me when I'm out in public. And I think it's funny because I'm a very successful person. But I don't know what we're going to have to do to beat the stereotype. We talked about doctors not giving kids. We talk about car dealerships. I mean, talk about electric companies. All we can do is keep fighting. This show is one way we can fight because everybody on here is in the movement or one of us, as I've talked about. So everybody keep pushing forward. I want to, before we wrap up the show here in a little bit, I want to make sure everybody knows the donations. You guys can take home the prize tonight with a $110 donation because the highest donation we've had before is $100. So, but also don't be afraid to make any donation. $4.20 is always the best one. I want to kick it back to our executive producer real quick, Dung. Make sure we don't have any housekeeping to do. How you doing over there, Dung?
Doing good, man. Just dropping a few links here, chilling in chat. You know. But I wanted to say, or I wanted to ask you, did we announce what tonight was for as far as Baby Ethan's Heart Fund was done, and we were going to move on to the whatever month it was for tonight, right?
No, we're raising money for Jinx tonight. Northwest Families for Autism. That's why the hat has autism pins on it, just on a theme. I know everybody's worn out raising money, but the good thing is I'm not asking for money for me. And I've already floated almost $7,000 out of my checking account for these charities. I have not been paid yet. I just think it's a badass idea, so I don't want the train to slow down. So if you got anything left, make sure you donate. I will also say that tonight on the lounge, which is coming up in just a little while after I take a small break, we've got several prizes coming up. Here's the hat, by the way, brand new hat with the I Love Someone with Autism pin, Cannabis Autism, and the special TGA. It's just a little gift. It's just to say thank you for that. But tonight on the lounge, I will be giving several prizes away for various contests that I come up with. I get stoned. I've already eaten half my 500-gram edible, so I'm on my way. So one of the things we're going to be giving away tonight, in honor of Grow Mouse coming on the show, thank you so much for coming on. Standing by with our resident technical advisor, as well as Matt for coming on. I'm going to be giving away a brand new pair of Method 7 operators for LED. So there you go, right there.
Yeah,
a little rare. So
good
we're
prize.
Giving up that.
Can I have
we're
them?
also going to be giving away.
I run Blurple lights. I need those.
Can I have those?
I'm also going to be giving away, if you guys have watched The Nerd, this is it's the jar. Mendo Dope brought this over to me. I have two of them. Mine's in a specials jar, but I want to give this away. I'm not going to open this one or bring mine out, but it's a damn hash smoker. If you ever smoked hash on a pen, this is an actual jar with a toker in it. It's pretty damn cool. I'll try to find mine for the next one. I'll be giving this away tonight as well as a couple of other prizes. So make sure you tune in to the after show. And if you aren't aware of how it works now, this show will be recorded. That's why I haven't put any music on it. We want to keep it up there so you guys can go pull all this tech out that Mouse and Matt laid down. Bond, Minnesota Nice. The lounge tonight, what goes on in the lounge stays in the lounge. So I don't record the lounge. They won't let us anyway. And heavy metal iron music or some shit. So we bounced all over the place. So I do invite you. There's Harley with the $420 donation. Holy shit. Well, that's the person that's going to win the prize.
Winner,
winner, chicken dinner. Thank you so much. Holy shit. That's unbelievable. I got to scroll it back down to take a picture.
Fuck yeah.
Because mind-boggling. Thank you so much, brother. That's a little much. I tell you that the charity of the Weed Nerd Nation just blows me away. So thank you guys so much for being very unprofessional here. Bam. Sorry, I just had to do that for prosperity. Thank you very much. Get your information. Grab the information from them mods or either get it to TGA Genetics at gmail.com. We'll make sure you get your gift. That is very impressive. Anyway, we're going to go down the panel real quick. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Laying Down the Knowledge, I think, is a pretty good show. We talked a lot about LEDs and everything else. I hope you guys learned a lot. So I just want to kick back real quick. Matt, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. Come on anytime. I mean, I do this almost every night. We listen to music. We bash it around. It's kind of a fun place to come hang out. So make sure you're not a stranger. Thank you.
You bet, brothers. I'm real glad to be here. You guys rock, man. The whole Weed Nerd Nation. You guys are all really strong, making this community grow, and you're an intricate part of it. You're at the foundation. So, stay rooted, keep them plants growing, keep them genetics coming, and keep educating, brother. Much love.
Thank you so much, my friend Mouse. Thank you for hanging out. Your head's probably spinning right now. You've been talking so much tech all day long.
It's been, between last night, this morning, and today, it's a lot of streaming, but I appreciate you having me on as always. To the entire panel, it's always incredible hanging with you guys. And I guess I'm going to actually step out when we go to break. I got to get in the garden so that it actually appears like I might know what I'm talking about when my plants are alive in the morning. So I'll leave you guys with this. There's no one best way to do it. If you're growing the dank, you're cool with me.
Awesome. That's cool. Very, very cool, Mouse. Mendo Dope in the motherfucking house. What you guys got up next, buddy?
Well, I think the next thing for us is the Autism Fundraiser Show at the Shawnee Pub, April 28th. It's in Willits, California, so we're hoping a lot of people come out and support the cause and come enjoy some live music. We got the full band. We're going to be rocking out live in the garden tour all the way.
Brand new shit.
Brand new shit. I can't wait. Y'all got to play my favorite song while I'm there now, so you just know that shit. So.
That's going to be hard.
We haven't learned that one with the band yet, but I think you're gonna.
That's gonna take more time.
No, but we're happy to be on. Thanks a lot, Subcool, and all the weed nerds out there, the whole panel. Much love, everyone.
Yep, you guys making us feel old too, like Sub, with our HPSs in our rooms and stuff. Like, I guess we're gonna have to figure out what's the new here in the future. We're still on the outdoor scene so much more than indoor, but we do want to get our indoor on point.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Y'all gonna come see me? Y'all got time to come see me this week?
Yeah, we're actually probably well, for sure we're either gonna come up Thursday or Friday, but we could probably stop by too earlier. We got to pick up Mr. Bond on Tuesday.
Yep, and then Bobby on Thursday.
2 panelists are coming over. Grow Mouse, if you can make it, you're invited.
This Thursday? Let me check my schedule.
Awesome. Thank you guys very much. See you guys soon.
Yep, thank you, Sub.
Awesome. Peace out, everybody.
Nice. Thanks very much, love.
Peace
Mr.
out.
Bond,
See you guys
thanks,
later
guys.
in the week.
I guess I see Mr. Bond pretty soon, huh? You coming out, right?
Yep, I'll be there Tuesday, and then I don't leave for like 2 weeks.
Fuck yeah! All right, we'll be hanging out. Jillian's gonna be here Tuesday if you're gonna swing by and say hey, and then she's got to get back Wednesday back up to the garden. But yeah, come hang out. We'll do some deck time. I think it's either gonna rain or fucking sunshine, whatever. We got inside and outside, so I'll see you soon, my brother.
Now that you've been smoking a little bit more, I am definitely bringing some of the good old space bomb. So I would love to finally get you a dab of that stuff.
I'd love to take one too. So I'm completely down. Minnesota Nice in the panel. Thank you so much. I want to thank him. He's pretty much a regular on my show, both the music stream and the information shows. By the way, if you haven't checked out the Weed Nerd Lounge, Smokers Lounge tonight, it's a fucking lot of fun. And stay up late and listen to all kind of music and answer questions and act like a general retard. So it's a lot of fun. Make sure you check it out. And that's going to pretty much do it for the show tonight. I appreciate everybody for coming out tonight. I urge everybody to swing back by as well. Next week, we're going to try to get Heroes of the Farm on here, as well as a couple other people. I have Stunner Magazine wanted to come on, but that was when Danny Danko was on, so I didn't want to clash them together. As always, thank you guys very much for tuning in. Make sure you get questions. We've been asking you guys for questions on the question link. We do it a little different. So if you guys are just typing in the chat, I can't see the questions. Everything's going so fast. I have to pay attention. So make sure that you find that question link. Mons will put it up right now. Go ahead and fill your questions out there. It can be for the next show or the next show. The more questions we have, the more information we can impart. So you know the deal. Do something kind for somebody. Be nice to humanity. Have a dank day. We'll see you next weekend.
Later, Weed Nerds. Thanks for your help and donations. Much love. Weed Nerd World.
Nerds.
See you guys.